Welcome, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I am Jonathan Kerman with you on the call. Game 2 between your Medford Rogues and the second place Lincoln Potters. On the mound for your Medford Rogues tonight, the lefty from Ashland, Oregon, Peyton Fuller. Peyton Fuller making his fourth start. He is 1-1 on the year, has 18 strikeouts to 23 and a third innings pitched. On the flip side, for the Potters, their starting pitcher tonight, Gilbert Sauceda. Now that name might sound familiar to those of you at home. Gilbert Sauceda played first base for the Potters last night. Gilbert Sauceda making his first start of the year, is 1-0 on the year, has a 2.07 ERA, 10 strikeouts in 13 innings pitched. It is Military Appreciation Night here at Harry and David Field. We have some memorials set up along the first and third base bags. A caravan of Harleys is parading around Harry and David Field as we speak. I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick listen in on that. Flags of all shapes, sizes, and colors out on the field right now to honor our service members, both current and former. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Starting a little late, we have a pregame ceremony to honor our service members. When you come back, the starting lineups for your Medford Rogues and the Lincoln Potters. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Valley Immediate Care is a proud sponsor of our Rogues broadcast team. Valley Immediate Care has locations in both North and South Medford, Ashland, Grants Pass, and Brookings, offering urgent care, occupational health, physicals, laser services, and more. Head to valley-ic.com for more information. Now time for the Valley Immediate Care pregame injury report. Just one name, I believe, and that's Jordan Reagan, who has been nursing a sore elbow since it feels since 2015. Only been a few weeks, but we are eager to get him back. Wish him a speedy recovery. I know he's been listening to the broadcast. So Jordan, if you're listening, get well soon. The Rogues would like to thank our friends at Avista. Serving Medford since 1906, Avista has created opportunities, sparked imaginations, and fueled innovation. Today, as they celebrate more than a century of service, the folks at Avista are as committed as ever to helping the communities that they serve to grow and prosper. Head to avistautilities.com today. We're going to take you live down on the field where a rendition of the national anthem is being played here on Military Appreciation Night. The color guard is making their way out onto the field. The fans have stood up, removed their hats in honor of our nation's flag and our service members. Right now, we ask that you have a moment of silence for the men and women who have given their lives in the name of duty.
Now, fans, direct your attention to right field as it's time for our presentation of the flag of the United States of America. We
have a special presentation out on the field. Coming in from right field, what can only be described as a tremendous flag, a huge American flag being unfurled out in right field. The unofficial anthem of the United States of America, Neil Diamond's Coming to America, playing in the background. Just a beautiful sight. Gets my patriotic blood pumping. Really is a beautiful moment here at Harry and David Field. Rogues players and Potters players alike helping carry out the flag as they move into center field. The flag's got to be 25, 30 feet long
of the national anthem.
And probably 15 feet wide. Here's a rendition of the national anthem from Harry and David Field. A beautiful, heartwarming rendition of the national anthem here at Harry and David Field. The flag is now completely unfurled out in center field. The flag next to the Harry and David Field out in left, blowing gracefully in the wind. As we all come together to honor our servicemen who keep us safe. I'm going to take this moment to give you the starting lineups for the Lincoln Potters. Leading things off, center fielder Zach Hoffman. Batting second, the second baseman Jake Boyd. Batting third at shortstop, Will Law. Batting in the cleanup spot in right field, Zachary Hall. Batting fifth, the designated hitter Isaiah Garcia. Batting sixth in left field, Austin Swift. Batting seventh, the catcher Mason Allen. Batting eighth at third base, Cameron Castaneda. And rounding out the order for the Potters, first baseman Joseph Torres. The flag has been folded up. It is being walked off the field. Got to be at least 24, if not 36 men and women out there. Rogues players, Potters players, and I think some fans as well, all coming together to ensure that that flag is treated with the care that it so righteously deserves. The defensive alignments for your Medford Rogues: behind starting pitcher Peyton Fuller. Catching Fuller tonight is Alex Isola. At third base, Davis DeLorfis. At short, Scotty Wright. At second, Clay Valenzuela-Reese. And at first base, Josh Berman. In the outfield, the normal battery of Johnny De La Cruz in left, Connor Lowry in center, and Jake Helwig in right field. We're just a few minutes from getting underway here at Harry and David Field. Game 2 between the first place Medford Rogues and the second place Lincoln Potters. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Military night here at Harry and David Field. Pre-game ceremonies have just finished wrapping up. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, first pitch from Harry and David Field.
It's time for Medford Rogues baseball as the Rogues take on the best of the West in the Great West League. Don't miss a minute of the action. Listen to every Medford Rogues game all season long, live on MedfordRogues.com. Now, it's time for Medford Rogues baseball. Calling all the action tonight, here's Jonathan Kerman.
Welcome, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues baseball, live on MedfordRogues.com. Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. A little bit of showmanship going on between the Potters and the Rogues pregame. As everyone exited to leave the field, two players remained with their hands over their hearts and their caps removed. Pitching coach for the Rogues, Christian Coronado, and head coach for the Lincoln Potters, Eric Bloom. They stood there in a deadlock facing the flag for several minutes after everyone else had cleared the field. The Rogues players coming over, shielding Christian Coronado from the sun, giving him water. The Lincoln Potters players doing the same. The Potters players actually picked up their coach, carried him over while he was still in his salute over to the home plate box so that Eric Bloom and Jeff Lau, the acting head coach tonight, could exchange lineup cards. So a fun bit of showmanship to start off this game. The Rogues have taken the field in their special military camo-themed jerseys. These jerseys are available for auction throughout the entire game tonight. All of the proceeds from the game are benefiting Rogue Valley veterans and community outreach. I have a very special guest in the broadcast booth with me. It's Rogues pitcher Jamie Flynn, who you may have heard before. He's been on the call with me a few times on the road in Marysville. Here with me now at Harry and David Field. How's it going, Jamie?
John, thanks for welcoming me into the booth yet again. This should be a good game between the top two teams in the Great West League.
Absolutely. The Rogues coming off a 6-game series between the Portland Pickles and these Medford Rogues. It was 3 here at Harry and David Field and 3 up in Portland. The Rogues took 5 of 6 there. However, the Rogues dropped Game 1 to these Potters last night, 8-2, looking to even the series tonight. And
as hot as the Rogues have been this season, John, the Potters going stride for stride with them almost, it might seem. They're only 2.5 games back, and winning a game at a time against the team that you're right behind, you pick up a full game every time. And
it's huge.
It's big for the Potters to come in here, especially on Rogues' home turf, and win a game last night, and obviously they're looking for one tonight as well. Peyton Fuller going to try and stymie the attack that the Potters brought last night, scoring all those runs.
Ashland's own Peyton Fuller, lefty attending University of Oregon next year, 6'3", a lean 175, 180 soaking wet. Zach Hoffman, the leadoff hitter for the Potters, steps into the batter's box, and we're just about ready to get things underway here at Harry and David Field, Military Appreciation Night. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon, here's the first pitch from Peyton Fuller. Fastball catches the outside part of the plate for a strike. 0-1. We are underway. Time of first pitch, 6:51 p.m.
A little late on the call for us with Military Appreciation Night, but worth every minute, John. All these people working hard for our wonderful country.
Absolutely. Next pitch is outside, 1-1 the count. A really beautiful, touching ceremony just a few minutes ago. The reason this game a little delayed, but we had known that going in, that it was going to be a little late. Here's the 1-1. That one is swung on, hit very high and not very far. The shortstop, Scotty Wright, is over. He's under it, and he makes the catch for the first out of the game.
John, it's always big getting that first out of the game, especially as a starting pitcher, because, you kind of come into the game, juice is flowing, military night, you're getting a little antsy because of everything that's going on pregame. You're not starting at that typical time that everybody tells you you're going to be starting at. And so Peyton comes out, seems to have his command ready to go, and made a pitch and got that first out.
That'll bring up Jake Boyd, the second baseman for the Potters, the right-handed batter. First pitch swinging, that's fouled back out of play off the first base side. 0-1 the count. And so you mentioned, Jamie, yes, these Potters have been keeping right with the Medford Rogues. I mean, a lot of talk about this Rogues team, how they had won 23 of their last 27 games, 14th ranked nationally among collegiate summer programs. That ball hit to the third baseman, Davis DeLorfis. He picks it up, takes 4 or 5 steps before firing that one over to Josh Berman. It's in time for the second out of the inning. Yes, barely.
Barely in time. And the thing is with Davis right there, he does a great job because a lot of times you can get your mind racing when you take your time to make a throw on a ball that's kind of, hit hard to the hot corner. And he does a good job of keeping his feet underneath him and throwing a strike over to first, even though he took his time. A lot of times coaches preach that, get rid of the ball because if you overthink it, that's when those errors start coming. But Davis obviously sure-handed there at third base.
That'll bring up Will Law, the shortstop for the Potters. First pitch to him, it's an off-speed, misses high, ball 1. Will Law went 2 for 5 last night, 2 strikeouts, 2 singles, and an RBI.
And I actually joked with Will. I know him from last year. He played with Lodi, and he's at shortstop or at least he was last night for the Potters. And he's traditionally a corner infielder, and I joked with him that, are they going to pitch him tonight because he's all over the diamond for the Lincoln Potters.
First pitch was fouled back, 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit well, but foul right between the legs of the first base coach for the Potters. 1-2 now to Will Law. Just getting underway, top of the first inning here at Harry and David Field. No score, nobody out. Or nobody on, 2 outs. Will Law in a 1-2 count. Peyton Fuller trying to shut the Potters down, 1-2-3. Fuller gets the sign from Isola. And the home plate umpire will call time.
Looked like a little bit of shake-off, not on the same page for Fuller and Isola here. Peyton looking to put him away right here with this next pitch.
That one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Isola. Count is even 2-2.
The cool thing about Fuller, and hopefully he gets through this inning 1-2-3 from the Rogues standpoint, but Peyton threw well at the beginning of the year as coming in as a projected starter for the Rogues, but sort of lost that spot and really earned it back with strong appearances in the bullpen, and here he is again.
2-2, and that hits him. Ball just got away from Peyton Fuller. It plunks Will Law. He'll take his free base.
And that looked like the second sort of off-speed pitch that Peyton threw there, or maybe even a cut fastball. Hard to tell with it hitting the foot of the batter there, but Peyton trying to come inside as a lot of Rogues pitchers do with 2 strikes. And unfortunately, when you do that, you're going to hit some guys, but you have to have the wherewithal to understand that that's okay. I'm trying to get inside. I might hit a guy and not let the thing snowball and not let multiple runners get on base and a big inning occur.
Peyton Fuller trying to do just that. 2 outs, top of the first inning. Will Law at first base. That'll bring up Zachary Hall. Zachary Hall had a big night for the Potters. Hit a home run in the 4th inning. Had a 2 RBI double in the 5th. The lefty comes set at the mound. Here's the first pitch. That one just outside. 1-0 the count.
Yeah, and Hall, one of the Potters with multiple home runs this season and batting .344, definitely dangerous in the 4-hole for the Potters.
Throw over to first. Law back in time. Everyone gets set back at their positions. 1-0 the count to Zachary Hall here in the top of the first inning. No score just yet. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit well, and that is going to be a fair ball down the first baseline. Jake Helwig makes the play on the ball. Over to third is Will Law. Potters now have runners on the corners here in the top of the first inning. A sharply hit single for Zachary Law.
A good job of sitting on that low and inside pitch as a left-hander and pulling it just past the first baseman there down the right field line. And good job by Helwig to get to that ball. A little bit of a sharp angle down at right field. The ball kind of bounced kindly to Jake and right and allowed that run to not score. Will Law, not particularly the fastest player on the Potters, but he does do a good job of getting first to third with ease.
That'll bring up Isaiah Garcia, the DH. Right-handed batter plays for Sierra College. Here's the pitch. That one catches the outside part of the plate. 0-1.
So there shouldn't be too much going on first and third, although the Potters are very aggressive base runners, 2 of their slower runners on the bases here. But the biggest thing that I've seen so far, John, is Peyton's living a little up in the zone and getting away with some pitches. He's going to have to get that ball down.
That one inside, 1-1 the count. Yeah, you have to think a stolen base attempt here with 2 outs and a runner on third is just out of the question.
Especially against a guy like Alex Isola, cannon behind the plate.
Absolutely. One of the best in the Great West League at throwing runners out. Here's the 1-1. Check swing. Did he go around? No, says the home plate umpire Alex Chavez. It's Alex Chavez at home. Eric Martinez, the field ump. And unfortunately, we don't have the exact numbers for Alex Isola in terms of how many runners he's thrown out, whether that be at the corners at first and third or stolen base attempt at second. That pitch high and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Those last 2 kind of getting away from Fuller, not really finishing his pitch and allowing that ball to kind of ride up. And the problem with that is it doesn't look like a pitch that a hitter would swing at. It doesn't look like something out of the hand, coming out of the cone that a hitter would like to even make an attempt at.
The 3-1. Swung on, fouled back. So now the count runs full. Peyton Fuller trying to work out a little bit of a jam here. Potter's trying to get something going with 2 outs. Runners at the corners here on the top of the first inning.
Very interesting predicament here for Peyton. Now he gets that ball, that fastball high in the zone, fouled straight back, John. And so it's tough to want to throw that exact same pitch twice because the hitter was that close the first time around.
Here's the 3-2 from Fuller. That one catches the outside part of the plate. Strike 3 called. So the Potters threaten but get none across. They leave 2. We head to the home half of the first inning. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm Jonathan Kerman. Alongside me, Jamie Flynn on the call. When we come back, bottom of the first inning. Located just 5 minutes from the I-5 in Grants Pass, Hellgate Jet Boat Excursions is the only place you need to go for the ultimate Rogue River experience. Jet through historic Hellgate Canyon, lounge at the exclusive OK Corral, and feast on all-you-can-eat homemade barbecue. Visit www.hellgate.com to book your Rogue River experience today. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. On the call with me today, Rogues starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. Leading things off for the Medford Rogues, Clay Valenzuela-Reese. First pitch, he fouls it back, 0-1 the count.
And I love watching the way Clay Valenzuela-Reese plays the game. He's such a tough kid, and everything, he gets out, and hitters are supposed to get out 7 out of 10 times, if you're a Hall of Fame hitter, at least in the bigs. And Clay gets upset, but it fuels him, and it doesn't take him out of his game.
That pitch swung on, hit to the shortstop, Will Law. Law fires over to first in time to retire Valenzuela-Reese for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. No score here on Military Night at Harry and David Field. That'll bring up the RBI leader of the Great West League, Davis DeLorfis, playing third base tonight for your Rogues. Batting second today to give Clay Valenzuela-Reese, who is swinging a hot bat, a chance to lead off. First pitch to DeLorfis is in there for a strike, 0-1.
Davis batting second here, but you don't see too many leadoff hitters leading in RBIs in any league.
That ball swung on, hit high, and foul off the first base side. The Potters are giving chase. It is going to be out into the berm. DeLorfis quickly behind 0-2.
And the crazy part about the DeLorfis and Valenzuela-Reese combination is that they have almost identical stats as far as just hits to at-bats are concerned. And so Clay, after that at-bat, now 44 hits in 123 at-bats, and then here DeLorfis stepping to the plate, 124 at-bats, 45 hits.
Just some fantastic numbers for these Rogues hitters. That ball is a check swing, and it's a drop strike 3. The catcher, Mason Allen, will fire over to Torres in time. So it is a dropped third strikeout for DeLorfis. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Jake Hellwig. The batting lineup for your Medford Rogues, leading things off was Clay Valenzuela-Reese, then Davis DeLorfis, Jake Hellwig batting third, Alex Isola, the catcher, batting fourth, Johnny De La Cruz in left field, batting fifth, batting sixth, first baseman Josh Berman, batting seventh in center Connor Lowry, batting eighth, the DH Braden Stutzman, and batting ninth, Scotty Wright. First pitch to the left-handed swinging Jake Hellwig is in there for a strike, 0-1.
And Jake having a nice night last night, 3 for 4, plating a couple of the Rogues' runs. Jake getting his bunt down early in the game, that's something that he told me he's working on to just kind of get his mojo going. And as far as getting a bunt down when the third baseman's playing as deep as their third baseman's currently playing right now, you could look to Jake to do it again tonight to get himself going and kind of moving as far as his hot streak continues.
First pitch to Hellwig is inside. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, that's hit well to right center field. Coming over, looks like they will have time. They do. It's the right fielder, Zachary Hall, that makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down for the Rogues in the bottom of the first inning. We head to the top of the second. No score yet here at Harry and David Field on Military Appreciation Night. I'm Jonathan Kerman. Alongside me is Rogues starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. For over 60 years, Lippert's Carpet One has been dedicated to helping people find the best flooring solutions for their home or business. And for over 60 years, Lippert's has sponsored and donated to many organizations in our community, and we appreciate them. If you want to completely transform a room, Lippert's has many products available, and there are more choices than ever. Whether for your home or business, Lippert's has a professional staff dedicated to helping you find exactly what you're looking for. Lippert's thanks you for over 60 years of being your flooring source. Located in Medford on North Pacific Highway or Rogue River Highway in Grants Pass, or find them at lipperts.com. Rogues Baseball is also brought to you by Claudio Alvarez Construction and Restoration. Founded over 2 decades ago, Claudio Alvarez Construction and Restoration are there when you need them most. Whether it's fire, storm, or water damage, the Alvarez Restoration Team is ready and willing to bring your home back to how it used to be. They like to say, when bad stuff happens, we make good stuff happen. Find them at alvarezrestoration.com or by calling 541-727-7340.
Now, back to Harry and David Field. You're listening to Medford Rogues Baseball.
live on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call. Joining me, starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. Jamie, always a pleasure having you on the broadcast. I absolutely love the insight you bring to me and the fans at home.
No doubt, John, and it's a privilege to kind of be able to give back, and I'm learning as well, and so this is huge for everybody, and I appreciate everything that the Medford Rogues have been able to do for me.
First pitch to Austin Swift is low, ball one. We're in the top of the second inning. No score. Here's the next pitch from Peyton Fuller. That one inside. 2-0 the count to Austin Swift.
Fastball kind of jumping out of Peyton's hand here, these first two pitches here in the second inning. Nowhere near the zone, I would say, and so Peyton locking in here with a 2-0.
That one swung on, hit hard, but foul off the third base side. 2-1 the count. And
something Coach Christian Coronado, our pitching coach, always preaches is don't get into those 2-0 counts. Don't repeat throwing balls. Always, it's better to not go ball strike, ball strike. You'd rather have a couple strikes in a row, but don't repeat balls, especially early in the count, because then you have to throw something over the plate that a hitter's looking for.
Next pitch swung on again, fouled off the third base side. So the count is now even 2-2. Nobody on, nobody out here in the top of the second inning. No score here at Harry and David Field on Military Appreciation Night.
And that last pitch was a changeup by Fuller, and even though it's up a little bit in the zone, the change of speed was good enough to get that swing and a foul ball, though close down by the bag.
Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike three. The second strikeout of the day for the lefty from Ashland. And that's the first out of the second inning for the Potters.
And a great pitching sequence there by Peyton. He has a nice cutter that has lots of movement to it, and if he can kind of drive it down, it almost turns into a sharper slider at points in time, and so that one a little lower in the zone, and it's really nasty against a right-handed hitter.
Speaking of right-handed hitters, Mason Allen steps into the batter's box, the catcher for the Potters. He looks at a first pitch that's outside and low, ball one. The 1-0 is fouled back. Count is now 1-1. One out, top of the second inning. No score, nobody on.
So there, he's not repeating a ball. He doesn't get to 2-0. He gets to that 1-1 count, and now it gives him the opportunity to throw a pitch that he likes and something that's going to get this batter within 3 pitches, which is something else that Coach Coronado and Coach Lyle alike both preach, is get that batter out or, unfortunately on base in the first 3, and that way your pitch count doesn't go up, and just in general, it lets you get deeper into a ball game if you're a starter.
That ball was low. Here's the 2-1 now. That one's high, so 3 balls and 1 strike to Mason Allen. Waiting on deck, Cameron Castaneda.
And, John, you always scratch your head as a pitching coach when you see a guy spike a fastball in the dirt and then throw one up above the catcher's mask. And you have to think that Peyton's trying to zone in and as he's trying to find it here in the second inning.
Next pitch is inside for ball 4. So a 1-out walk issued by Peyton Fuller. That'll bring up Cameron Castaneda.
And the only thing you can't defend in baseball, the walk, John. And
Absolutely.
So it's tough as an infield, it's tough as an outfield, as a catcher and a coaching staff to have walks happen. Of course, they're part of the game. They happen. It's some say it's a lack in concentration. Some say it's you trying to be too fine. Whatever it is, individual pitchers. You look for the walks to go down, and that's something that the Rogues have definitely struggled with this season thus far as the bigger inning is concerned. And so Peyton looking for the double play ball here.
1-out runner on first here in the top of the second for the Potters. Cameron Castaneda, the third baseman for the Potters. First pitch swinging. It's a soft ball that's going to bloop over the second baseman, Clay Valenzuela-Reese's head, and drop in for a single. So just like that, the Potters again have 2 men on. 1 out here in the top of the second inning.
One of those pitches that is definitely a good pitch, especially 0-0 from Fuller there. Unfortunately, where Clay was playing, and it just probably anywhere Clay's playing there, and for that matter, that ball getting over his head, an unfortunate bloop hit, but Peyton does his job and forces weak contact there, just unfortunately found a patch of grass in right center field.
First pitch to Joseph Torres, a called strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. Mason Allen at second, Cameron Castaneda at first here in the top of the second inning, no score. Isn't baseball funny like that? You can absolutely drill a ball and it just be lined right at an outfielder. or you can bloop one, get just a corner piece of the ball, and it lands for a hit. Next one is low and outside, kicks up some chalk, evens the count 1-1.
And a lot of the time when I tell my hitters that are frustrated that they lined one into the gap and a coach put on a good shift and we tell them to tip their cap, a lot of times I tell them, well, the next bat's going to be a bloop single into the outfield, right? So it is part of the game, but it seems like it evens out a lot of the time.
Peyton Fuller looks back at second, now comes home. That 1-1 pitch is hit high and foul off the first base side into the bleachers and out of play. So 1-2 now the count to Joseph Torres.
And, of course, this is one of those situations for Fuller where even though it's 1-2 and you look to get the strikeout, if you can get weak contact here to maybe Delorfus or one of the middle infielders and get that double play, you're out of the inning with that many fewer pitches. So you don't have to necessarily be perfect with that slider in the dirt that's a strikeout. You can get that slider low and away here that Peyton throws for weak contact and a double play ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at second and first. The throw over to second, just getting back in time is Mason Allen. That was a close play.
And that's something the Rogues have really been working on, especially against the Pickles and the Potters here. They're very aggressive on the base pass, especially trying to steal third base. And that was as close as it gets at second base there. Peyton doing a great job throwing the ball right in the tag zone. Clay applying it.
Runners at first and second. 1-2 the count to Joseph Torres. That pitch swung on, hit softly down the right field line. That is going to be fair. Another bloop single into right field. Some tough luck for Peyton Fuller. The bases are loaded with 1 out here in the top of the second inning.
And wow, that's just maybe some strength from the batter there as far as being able to poke that outside soft pitch that I was alluding to Peyton throwing earlier, and unfortunately he just doesn't get the rollover ground ball. That ball was up in the air for an awfully long time, John, and Jake, with decent speed and right, still couldn't get to it. About as close to the line as possible without it being foul down there. Not a lot of room in right field.
So the bases are loaded, top of the second inning, 1 out. Peyton Fuller in a bit of a jam, pitching to the leadoff hitter for the Potters, Zach Hoffman. First pitch to Hoffman. That one's hit high and foul off the first base side and out of play. 0-1 the count.
And that's a tough thing you do. You walk somebody in the lower half of the order, and then you have to go face the top half of the order. Typically the more dangerous hitters later on in the inning, and that walk standing looming at third base when the leadoff hitter's on base, in the box here, the left-hander, and Peyton's got a deal here.
Next pitch is low, blocked nicely by Alex Isola. Evens the count, 1-1.
A beautiful job by Isola. The one thing I've really liked about Alex that maybe most people who watch the Rogues haven't been able to see is just his true grit as far as he could be tired all the games he's caught for the Rogues and in this brutal heat that's the Pacific Northwest right now while we're playing baseball here in Southern Oregon, and his legs seem to still be underneath him, and it's great to see.
The 1-1 pitch swung on, fouled back. It knocks off the home plate umpire Alex Chavez's mask. Looks like he's okay. 1-2 the count to Zach Hoffman. Bases loaded with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Mason Allen at third, Cameron Castaneda at second, Joseph Torres at first.
And it looks like, both teams trying to help Alex Chavez back there, let him kind of recover after getting that ball, not necessarily square in the head, but it did knock the frame of his helmet off. And so the batter doing the right thing, going and talking to one of his coaches, giving Alex some time back there, and then also Alex Isola going out and talking to Peyton Fuller. Just kind of one of those courtesies that you give the umpires who are trying to do their best, obviously, down there on the field.
Absolutely. I mean, they're out there in the heat as well.
No doubt. No doubt.
So 1-2 the count to Zach Hoffman with the bases loaded and 1 out. Here's the pitch from Peyton Fuller. Off speed, misses high, evens the count 2-2.
And that's one of those ones that's tough. At a 1-2, the hitter is obviously on edge trying to swing at anything that looks good or is near the zone. But by looks good, I mean coming out of the hand.
Right. If
it initially looks good. And unfortunately for Peyton, when you throw the breaking ball that high, it's always going to be high. And so no swing, no attempt from the batter there.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on, hit high to right field. Jake Helwig is going back. He's in the corner. He will make the catch in fair ground. Coming around to score is 1. The ball skips off the bag at second, and there's not going to be a play at home.
Wow, unfortunate there for the Rogues, John, as Jake The toughest thing about that for Jake Hellwig down there is there's no foul. There's really no foul room, so you have to kind of catch the ball down there. A lot of the times, coaches might say, if you're foul that deep, maybe don't catch it. Trust the pitcher. Maybe not this early in the game, but what Hellwig does there is catch the ball right on the line. Who knows if it was going to drop fair or foul? But what was really unfortunate for the Rogues is he tried to hit his cutoff man at second to not allow the runner to get to third base, tagging from second, and the ball gets away and hits the bag, and the guy scores all the way from second, 2 runs for the Potters.
Quickly 2-0 here in the top of the second inning. Potters on top. Just some tough luck for Peyton Fuller and the Rogues. A very similar play happened to, I believe it was Cole Percival, the last game of the Portland Pickles game, where a ball just went right up the middle, would have been a inning-ending double play. Instead, the ball caroms off the bag, hits the bag, goes flying into left field, and a couple runs score. And unfortunately, you can't call an error on the first base. That ball is hit high, and it's going to be foul out of play into the bleachers. So a couple tough luck plays, some plays that you couldn't ask a guy to do again.
Not intentionally.
Even if you wanted to, right?
No, it's maybe not 1 in a million, but it's something that 1 in 10 for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's no way that Hellwig, first of all, meant to miss his cutoff man there, but also, like, what are the chances of it nailing a bag, skipping into left center field, and scoring another run for the Potters? So an unfortunate break for Peyton Fuller, of all people, and the Medford Rogues here early.
0-2 the count to Jake Boyd. That one is hit well but foul down the third base side. We'll do this again. Joseph Torres is at second. He had one of the 2 bloop singles into right field.
Can we use the word bloopier for his?
Bloopier.
It was higher in the air.
His
a bloopier single.
His was indeed bloopier. 2 outs, top of the second inning. Rogues trail 2-0. Peyton Fuller looks in. 0-2 the count to Jake Boyd. Fuller trying to get out of this inning without any more damage. That one, fastball misses outside. 1-2 the count.
And one thing you like to see with Fuller in his young career, not even getting off to University of Oregon yet, is he doesn't look phased out there at all. He's doing the same thing in the same groove that he was in. It seems like it appears that the 2 bloop singles and the runs have not affected him at all, and he's making great pitches thus far.
1-2 pitch hit softly to the first baseman. Great play by Josh Berman. He will take it himself to the bag to end the inning. However, 2 runs come across on a sac fly and a assisted RBI by the second base bag. Rogues trail 2-0. We head to the home half of the second. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Alex Isola leading things off for the Rogues in the bottom of the second inning. They trail 2-0. Joining me on the call, Rogues starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. Next pitch swinging, that one's hit to right field. Coming over, and he will make the catch, is Zach Law. So Isola flies out to right to start the top of the second.
And that's a good piece of hitting by Isola there. Got a little bit underneath the ball, but sort of drove it to right field there. And that's a tough break that the Potters were playing in the right positions there, and that's why you have your scouting reports.
That'll bring up Johnny De La Cruz, left fielder for the Rogues. First pitch to De La Cruz is high, ball 1.
And, where I thought the tides were kind of turning for the Rogues last night was with a runner on base. Later in the game, Johnny De La Cruz laced one at the second baseman, and I thought it was going to be through, and unfortunately...
That ball is hit up the middle for a hit. The Rogues have their first hit of the game. Johnny De La Cruz comes through with a single up the middle.
A very similar ball hit last night, but more to the right of the actual second base bag and at the second baseman, but Johnny will get the Rogues going there with one out, and looks like Josh Berman's ready to come in starting tonight, coming off the bench last night and really lacing a ball to right center field. Great pitch hit at bat that actually Coach Lyle mentioned. Even though Josh had ended up being a fly out in the books, it was great for Josh to come off the bench and be that locked in, and you love to see that out of your pinch hitters, to come out of the dugout where they've been cold the entire game and come in and do something right. And even a ball hit that hard somewhere can really get the team going later in the game.
So a one-out single for Johnny De La Cruz. He's at first. The first pitch to Josh Berman, the right-handed first baseman, looks at a strike, 0-1. That's something that the advanced stats are starting to creep up more and more in the big leagues, become more relevant. That hard hit contact rate, that is a much better signifier of a hitter's performance rather than just batting average. Next pitch, swung on and missed. Berman quickly behind, 0-2.
Good changeup there from Sauceda, and you're right about the whole exit velocity sort of thing. It's the new fab in the MLB, the whole Aaron Judge fiasco that's going on. Everybody's excited about what he's doing, and the other young stars, the Bellingers of the world here, especially out on the West Coast for those Dodger fans familiar, and those kind of guys are really changing the game of baseball at such a young age.
The fly ball revolution, I believe it's called.
Absolutely. Most home runs in a month last month in the history of the major leagues, over 1,000.
Jeez. That pitch is low, 1-2 the count to Josh Berman. I'm not sure if this streak is still going, but there was a streak of 12 to 14 games, I don't know the exact number, where at least one player hit 2 home runs.
Yes.
Double home runs in consecutive days for almost
double
2
digits,
weeks.
Digits of multiple home runs. It was incredible, and we've never seen the likes of it before.
Josh Berman hits a ball to the third baseman, Cameron Castaneda. They fired over to second for 1, over to first in time for 2. Berman grounds out into the 5-4-3 double play to end the second inning for the Rogues. We head to the top of the third inning. Rogues still trail 2-0. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Rogues fans, if you're looking for a used car or truck, why not head to the dealer that will give you the best quality vehicle at the best price? Crater Lake Ford uses real-time tracking software to research similar makes within hundreds of miles to give you the best car shopping experience while saving you time and money. Crater Lake Ford. Right cars and trucks, right prices, right experiences. Visit CraterLakeFord.com today. Fans, I can't tell you how many times we've had to replace a window here at the ballpark because of a stray fly ball. When we need our windows fixed or replaced, the only team we trust are the folks at Bill's Glass. With locations in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass, Bill's Glass is the fastest and most affordable glass service in Southern Oregon. When you hear that crash, think Bill's Glass. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We are in the top of the third inning. Potters on top 2-0 over the Medford Rogues, leading things off for the Potters in this inning. The shortstop, Will Law, takes a first pitch low and inside, 1-0 the count. Joining me on the broadcast, Rogues starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. Here's the 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed, evens the count, 1-1.
Fuller looking like he's getting much further down in the zone here the last couple batters of the second inning and now here into the top of the third as well.
The 1-1, Law shows bunt, missed it. 1-2 the count. So the two runs that scored in the top of the second inning, really just a product of some bad luck. Here's the 1-2 to Will Law. That one is hit softly up the middle. Shortstop Scotty Wright is there, fires it over to first, a half step ahead of Will Law for the first out of the third inning.
And you know that Peyton almost snared it with a kind of a little back, I don't know, what a swan move type movement with his glove there, but unfortunately didn't clip it because it could have got away from one of the infielders, but a really bad hop. Scotty Wright handled it really well and threw on over to first and beat the runner by a half a step. Great play, Scotty.
So that's one out here in the top of the third inning. Nobody on for the Potters. Zachary Hall is up, looks at a first pitch that's in the dirt, ball one.
And I think this is maybe the Rogues' best defensive alignment. Now, obviously, Tortuga, as we call him, Dante Gutierrez, with a right-handed pitcher would be where Berman's at, but this is a solid lineup for the Rogues and really giving it their all tonight.
Next pitch misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes to Zachary Hall.
Bryce Tilton also kind of moving into that shortstop spot, but I think DeLorfis is becoming even more comfortable with playing
Peyton Fuller
third.
working fast. That ball is hit sharply, but just foul off the first base side. Count is now 2-1. One out, top of the third inning. Nobody on for the Potters. They're on top 2-0 over your Medford Rogues.
And that's just great positioning by the umpire down the first base line there as it bounced right in front of him. Just foul of the line, John. Really, really close, but scorched down the line, and Josh Berman playing almost on the outfield grass, nowhere near the ball. No chance of getting it because of the velocity off the bat there from the left-hander.
Here's the 2-1 to the lefty, Zach Hall. He hits that one high, not very far. Right fielder Jake Helwig is under it. Just like that, 2 down in the top of the third inning. That'll bring up the DH tonight for the Lincoln Potters. Isaiah Garcia from Lincoln, California, plays for Sierra College. Not to be confused with the catcher Elijah Garcia, who also is from Lincoln, California, and attends Sierra College.
Yes, they are, and that's actually Lincoln, California is obviously where the Potters are from, and right up one of our catchers, Alex Isola, the guy tonight, hometown boy down there. He got quite the reception when we were down there a couple of weeks ago. My actual first game with the Rogues. They were excited to have Alex home.
First pitch is outside to Garcia. 1-0 the count. 2 outs, nobody on, top of the third inning. Rogues trail 2-0 to the Lincoln Potters. Peyton Fuller into the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit foul out of play off the first base side into the parking lot.
And that's a big job by Peyton there to even it again, and we've said it multiple times tonight. After he throws maybe not you're always going for a first pitch strike, but then he doesn't throw the one that he particularly wants, gets behind in the count, but then evens it up. You don't want to do anything different with 2 outs. You want to stay the exact same.
Next pitch, swung on and missed. Count is now 1-2.
And then, sorry, as I was alluding to there, a lot of the time as a pitcher, you kind of think the job's done with 2 outs, or you try to do something different than what you've done to get those first 2 outs, and you press a little bit, but Peyton doing a great job here, staying composed, trying to get this third out.
Next pitch fouled back again over the press box, so a little bit of a battle between Peyton Fuller and Isaiah Garcia. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, top of the third inning, nobody on.
It's always that elusive third out, it seems like, John, a lot of the time with the pitcher in any given inning is they get the first 2 and they look dynamite, and then the next batter is always tough. They seem to get behind a lot, the Medford Rogues, and Peyton, another tough at bat here from a Potter early in this ball game.
That last pitch was swung on and just got a piece of it, did Isaiah Garcia, fouled it back. Count remains 1-2. Peyton Fuller trying to get the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. Here it is. That one in the dirt, Evens the count 2 apiece.
And this next pitch is pretty tricky because that's multiple breaking balls to even the count here now at 2-2, one being fouled off from Fuller. And so it's interesting, do you triple up? Some say never trice, but he obviously doubled, and it looks like he's going to throw another one.
That ball hit very high, a shallow pop fly. Scotty Wright comes under it, he drops it! He dropped the pop fly. It was in his glove, and it just squirted out.
And I think, John, just looking at you, your hands are on top of your head, and Coach Lyle down in the dugout also hands on top of his head. The Rogues need to stay positive here and snip out that tough error. Unfortunately, we were talking about Scotty Wright earlier and how sure his hands are. I think just a mental error from Scott there, and he's not the kind of guy to dwell on that one. And Peyton's going to try and go ahead and get this next batter to help his shortstop out.
So Isaiah Garcia reaches on the air. That brings up Austin Swift, who struck out to start the second inning. Here's the first pitch to Swift. He hits that one well to left center field. Going back is Connor Lowry. He will make the catch on the dead run. Not an easy play at all.
I think he needed a map on that one, but he ended up finding the end result, getting from point A to point B. Great catch from Lowry over the shoulder there.
The error by Scotty Wright is erased. We head to the home half of the third inning. Your Rogues trail 2-0 to the Lincoln Potters. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. The Rogues would like to thank Rogue Credit Union for their continued support of Medford Rogues baseball and the surrounding Southern Oregon community. Our friends at Rogue Credit Union are striking out hunger. Rogue Credit Union is donating $10 to Access each time a Rogues pitcher strikes out a player from the opposing team during a home game. Rogue Credit Union. Living local. It's a Rogue thing. Rogue Regency Inn and Suites is the official host hotel of the Medford Rogues. Whether you're in Southern Oregon for a quick stay or a longer visit, Rogue Regency has a warm, casually elegant atmosphere with plenty to offer, including Chadwick's, the official sports bar of the Medford Rogues. Make sure you head to the post-party headquarters, Chadwick's Pub and Sports Bar, and the Rogue Regency Inn and Suites. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Leading things off for the Rogues in the bottom of the third inning, center fielder Connor Lowry, who made a great catch out there in center to end the top of the inning. Looks at a first pitch ball, 1-0 the count. Joining me on the call, Rogue starting pitcher Jamie Flynn.
Great play by Lowry out there, saving a run more than anything else for Peyton Fuller and the Rogues there.
Next pitch swung on and missed by Connor Lowry. Evens the count 1-1. Rogues trail 2-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 1-1 from Sauceda. That ball is hit well, but foul off the first base side.
And what's something that the Rogues have really struggled with this season has been a lefty that's been able to mix up speeds and mix up locations. And Sauceda doing a great job here in the first 2+ innings of changing speeds already early in the ballgame and keeping the Rogues hitters on their toes.
Here's the 1-2 to Connor Lowry. That one's high and inside, evens the count 2 apiece. The 2 runs in the ballgame for the Potters coming back in the second inning. Really just a tough luck inning for Peyton Fuller and the Rogues. Here's the 2-2 to Connor Lowry. That one in the dirt, ball 3.
And the classic, pitching strategy there from Sauceda. He gets ahead, elects to go high fastball to change the eye level of the hitter. A little too high, no offer from Lowry. And then he goes soft down, but now a 3-2 count. Let's see what he does here.
That ball is hit well to center field. That ball is going to carry, though, and land right in the mitt of Zach Hoffman for the first out of the third inning.
And that's one of those ones that you start yelling at the ball as you're running towards first base. Why did I hit it that hard? Why did I hit it that hard? And Lowry really scorched that one, and a great shift. I actually watched the center fielder move from a more central position to go cover right center field there with 2 strikes. A great approach from Lowry as a hitter, and you can't get away from it.
Shortening it up
on the bat, trying to hit the ball to right center field hard, and that's exactly what he does. But you got to tip the cap to the manager of the Potters, moving his outfielders to the right side of the field with 2 strikes on the right-hander, Connor Lowry.
First pitch, Braden Stutzman lays down a bunt. It's a good one. The catcher will not make a play. Braden Stutzman has himself a bunt single. Well, it seems like anybody on this team is a threat to bunt, no matter the count, no matter the situation.
And Braden it looked like he was trying to push bunt there. He didn't get all of it, but busted it down 90 feet to first base, and a tough play for the catcher and the pitcher as they kind of crossed each other's peripheral there. Mm-hmm. And the catcher not able to get a ball that was bouncing, maybe a little bit of English on it, like a pool ball.
Right.
Always tough for a catcher to deal with that. And Stutzman, definitely not the slowest rogue, gets down to first, base hit.
So Stutzman at first with 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. Scotty Wright, the shortstop for the Rogues, takes a pitch just outside. Good eye from Scotty Wright. 1-0 the count.
Looked to be some sort of harder cutting fastball there from the left-hander, but just misses the outside part of the plate there. Scotty, definitely kind of the guy that likes to drive the ball up the middle here, but he wants to make sure to not do it into a double play.
That ball is low. Braden Stutzman will run on the play. No attempt by the catcher, Mason Allen. That ball just skipped away from him just far enough. He knew that there was no chance of getting Stutzman.
And, of course, what you see I did there, John, for the Rogues fans was a little bit of commentary's curse by breaking up the potential double play. Getting that ball in the dirt, getting Stutzman to second base. A little bit of mojo here. Scotty Wright, a guy in RBI position and scoring position for him for the 9-hitter. And, of course, Valenzuela Reese and Davis DeLorfis waiting on deck and in the hole. A dangerous time for the Rogues to get one back here early in the game in the bottom of the third.
Rogues trail 2-0. Braden Stutzman at second, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 the count to Scotty Wright. That pitch, fastball, swung on and missed. Not sure if it was a foul ball. I think it was called a foul ball by the home plate umpire.
It was a foul ball because I think Braden Stutzman would have took yet another base if it had just gone off the catcher's mitt there, because it got a little bit away down the first base line. But Scotty doing a great job putting a good swing on a 2-0 fastball there. Just missed it and fouled it right back off the catcher's mitt. But if another one of those pitches, if a 2-1 here is that fastball again, expect Scotty to really give it a ride.
Here's the 2-1. Another fastball. That one hit high and not very far. The right fielder, Zachary Hall, comes on, makes the grab. Braden Stutzman cannot advance. 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning.
Shallow enough there for Stutzman to do kind of the halfway approach, maybe quarter of the way approach, and he realized early that he wasn't going to be able to tag, but if the ball gets down there in that situation, because the outfielder misplays it, Stutzman's on third, maybe even scoring if he gets a little bit further. So plus base running from a good base runner and Braden Stutzman there. Unfortunate for Scotty Wright to be flying out there with only 1 out. But the top of the order for the Rogues now.
Clay Valenzuela re-steps up to the bag, takes a first pitch strike. Braden Stutzman is at second, 2 outs, bottom of the third inning. Rogues trail 2-0. Clay Valenzuela Reese in the middle of a 12-game hitting streak. He's hit safely in 26 of his last 31 games for the Rogues this season. 0-1 the count to Valenzuela Reese. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit well over the second baseman's head. Another hit for Clay Valenzuela Reese. Braden Stutzman's coming home. The play at the plate will not be in time. Valenzuela Reese will take second on the play. Rogues have a run across. 2-1 the score. Valenzuela Reese at second.
And look who delivers for the Rogues yet again, John. It's that Valenzuela Reese guy doing a great job hitting it over his own position in second base. Into right center, just deep enough to score Braden Stutzman. A decent throw from the outfielder, but Stutzman getting in with the head first slide. And what heads-up base running by Valenzuela Reese. Absolutely. To get into second base, trading places with him. Scored a single, and then a decision advanced on the throw by the center fielder. Unfortunate to not hit a cutoff there, and that's something that obviously coaches are probably yelling out of the Potters dugout about is hit your cutoff, man. I know Jeff Lyle would be in his situation.
So Davis DeLorfis up to bat for the Rogues. Looks at a first pitch strike.
And DeLorfis, 0 for his last 5 or 6, I think, here. Last night, a rough night for Davis. I know he was very frustrated. And then, obviously, the strikeout here earlier this evening. And so Davis looking to kind of make amends here and try to put a ball in play that does some damage.
Next ball to DeLorfis. He takes. It's outside. 1-1 the count. Clay Valenzuela-Reese at second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning.
Did you check me on those stats, John, for the last game? What was Davis last game?
You were right. Well, Davis DeLorfis went 1 for 5, but his last 3 at-bats he did get out. So if you include the strikeout today, he is 0 for his last 4. Next one in the dirt. So 2-1 now, the count to Davis DeLorfis.
And Davis obviously needs to now chase Clay as far as the hits leader on the team is concerned. They're deadlocked here with 45 hits apiece.
2 fantastic hitters in the top of the lineup for the Rogues. Really fantastic hitting up and down this lineup. Here's the 2-1 to DeLorfis. That one just misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 out. Clay Valenzuela-Reese the tying run at second base.
And it's much easier said than done, John, but getting ahead of hitters is so important. You see Sauceda getting behind Clay Valenzuela-Reese there, and Clay doing a great job of putting a good swing on the ball. And now 3-1. Davis, definitely an aggressive hitter, will swing at something good if he gets it.
Here's the 3-1. That one is outside, ball 4. So runners at first and second for the Rogues. 2 outs, bottom of the third inning, 1 already across. That was Braden Stutzman who laid down the bunt single, brought home on the Clay Valenzuela-Reese single.
See, and this is something that I'm not sure Sauceda necessarily attempted, is we're going to get a mound visit from the pitching coach of the Potters. But I think something that maybe was told to him during that DeLorfis at bat is that, you have a lefty on deck, and it's that lefty-lefty matchup that could be so important. Now, at this level of the game, do I believe it's as important? Maybe not, but it's something that's definitely one of those things in baseball that's talked about, and I'm sure that was kind of maybe sort of a yellow situation. Make good pitches to DeLorfis. Don't intentionally walk him. If he swings at something that's your pitch, that's great. If he rolls over on a ground ball, hits a lazy pop fly, that's awesome. But if you walk him, it's not that detrimental because you have that lefty coming up who obviously lefty-lefty matchup, righty-righty matchup. The whole point of that is that they can't see the off-speed pitch as well from the same side.
Jake Helwig, that aforementioned left-handed batter, takes a first pitch outside, ball 1. Clay Valenzuela-Reese at second. He's the tying run in this 2-1 ball game. Davis DeLorfis at first.
And Sauceda getting his first start tonight hasn't gone that deep into ball games as a reliever for the Potters, and so he could maybe be getting tired here. The Rogues working him really, really well as seems to have lost the zone almost completely the last few pitches. Maybe it wasn't a strategic pitch around Davis DeLorfis. Maybe it was just simply that he couldn't find the zone, as that last one was way outside, and it was an off-speed. Helwig getting that 2-0 count that hitters love here.
Here is the 2-0 to Jake Helwig. Swung on, fouled off the first base side into the Potters dugout. Clay Valenzuela-Reese at second. He's the tying run. Davis DeLorfis at first. Jake Helwig, the 3-hitter for the Rogues, at the plate in a 2-1 count.
Jake super hot at the plate, going 3 for 4, as we alluded to earlier this evening. Last night it was actually the Rogues' player of the game, even in a losing effort.
That ball swung on, hit to the second baseman. Jake Boyd feels it cleanly. They fire over to Torres in time for the final out of the inning. However, 1 run comes across. Braden Stutzman brought home by the RBI single by Clay Valenzuela-Reese, who extends his hitting game to 13. We head to the top of the 4th inning. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Rogues trail 2-1. We'll be back right after this.
Now, back to Harry and David Field. You're listening to Medford Rogues Baseball.
Hello, fans. I am Jamie Flynn, and I'm on the call for the Medford Rogues. The Medford Rogues here presented by Newman and the Newman Group. We have Mason Allen stepping to the plate, the catchers for the Lincoln Potters. As he swings at the first pitch, a ground ball to Scotty Wright, picked by him. Scotty H. picking machine. The throw over to first is an out. Josh Berman on the stretch. And one down. Peyton Fuller makes quick work of Mason Allen, who he had previously walked back in the second inning. So one out now down here at Harry and David Field. The wind blowing in from left field. Number 15, Cameron Castaneda from Ohlone College, the third baseman for the Lincoln Potters, steps up here. And Peyton is into the stretch. And strike one, a fastball on the outer half of the plate. Quick work from Peyton Fuller here in the fourth. A big shutdown inning opportunity here in the top half. Peyton looking to throw up a 0 for the Rogues, but this one is lined into left by Castaneda, and that's going to be a line drive base hit through the 6 hole, and then the Potters get their first runner on here in the top of the fourth with one out. A couple of good pitches there from Fuller. Unfortunately, thrusted into left center field by the 8-hitter, and that brings up the 9-hitter from William Jessup, the first baseman, Joseph Torres. And Torres earlier in the game with a base hit, looking for his second on the night. And this was kind of the part of the order that Peyton actually had some trouble with during that 2-run inning back in the second. And this is a good off-speed pitch on the inner half of the plate from Fuller as he gets ahead of yet his third batter this inning. Peyton doing a good job of working ahead, maybe something that the Rogues coaching staff had mentioned to him between innings, because last inning a lot of the time he would work behind with one ball and then come back and get that strike. And here's a bunt attempt that's going to be hard foul to the left side. DeLorfis was playing behind the bag at third, but that one probably would have made it all the way to him and it had been fair, and honestly could have been a ground ball as far as I'm concerned. Davis would have had a shot of turning a double play there with Valenzuela-Reese up the middle. Anyways, we have an 0-2 count on the hitter Torres. Peyton Fuller looking to put him away here. A short lead at first by Castaneda. Nothing doing. And this one's going to be a fister up the middle. Scotty Wright, plenty of time, going to make the play at first base. Nothing doing at second, unfortunately, is a good read by Castaneda to get to second on that high chopper. Good job by Peyton Fuller to get really inside on the hitter's hands there. Surprised the bat does not break, but nonetheless, 2 outs for the Rogues here, as it looks like the left-hander and leadoff man from Colorado State Pueblo, Zach Hoffman, the center fielder, is going to step to the plate here. Davis DeLorfis in slightly at third. The first pitch is fouled back into the netting over the dugout of the Rogues. The middle infield playing straight up. Josh Berman almost on the grass, and the outfield as well playing straight up, although just as I say that, they start shifting slightly towards Hoffman's pull side, the right side, as Jake Helwig and Connor Lowley move slightly. And it looks like Scotty Wright wanted to attempt a back pick there. Not sure if it was planned or if it was just a daylight shown by the shortstop. But Peyton just merely stepping off there, nothing doing as the pick's concerned, and he looks into Alex Isola here for the 0-1 pitch. The delivery, and it's a ball in the dirt. Again, nothing doing there from Hoffman as the ball skipped about 10 feet in front of the plate there. An off-speed pitch from Fuller to even the count at 1-1. Not much of a lead at second by Castaneda, but a deeper lead as you often see with a runner on second base and 2 outs as Fuller comes set here. Here is the pitch from Fuller, and this is another off-speed pitch, but way outside. Again, nothing doing in the swing department for number 13, Zach Hoffman, the center fielder for the Potters. A beautiful night it's turned out to be here in Medford, Oregon at Harry and David Field. We can see U.S. Cellular on the far side. The mansions with getting that familiar glow of the sun as it slowly creeps down below the horizon down the third base side. Here's an inside move, or an inside turn, whatever you like to call it, from Peyton Fuller. Nothing doing at second base. Josh Berman, something he has to deal with and has talked about pregame, especially as the innings progresses. That sun, as it starts to creep down, it's something that we've seen teams often bounce balls to first base on ground balls from the left side of the infield just to avoid sun being a problem for the first baseman, who do their best to wear sunglasses early in the game while the sun's still up. But the shadows are creeping here as Peyton Fuller, another one far out of the zone. It's a fastball, and a 3-1 count to Hoffman, the leadoff man, with Jake Boyd, a righty, on deck. And there's the walk that appeared to be coming, unfortunately, from Fuller there. Some pitches outside of the zone, and that's actually going to prompt Christian Coronado, the pitching coach for the Medford Rogues, wearing his camo jersey here on military night, just as the rest of the players are, takes the slow walk out to the mound. We're going to take a break here as Coronado jumps out onto the mound and play some background music for you. The Medford Rogues featured by the Newman Group. Here we go. Rogues fans, after the mound visit by Christian Coronado, Peyton Fuller now going to face Jake Boyd, the second baseman and right-hander for the Lincoln Potters, similar to something we saw last inning. Peyton walking his off-handed compadre in the box, the left-hander, to face the righty here, and he gets a foul ball, strike one, straight back towards us here in the booth. Peyton working ahead of yet another batter. It's always important to go out when a pitcher seems to be kind of all over the place or rushing himself, and Christian Coronado has done a great job all year with the Medford Rogues for that, and looking to get an out from Peyton Fuller here, making that mound visit successful. And this ball by Peyton is another fastball. It's low and outside. Iasola picks it and looks down to first, maybe to try to back pick to Josh Berman. Berman way behind the bag, unfortunately, and nothing doing there for the Rogues. 1-1 here to Jake Boyd. Now this ball is driven deep into left center field, but it looks like Lowry's got a beat on it and does a great job reeling in that high fly ball. Maybe the wind pushing it back a little bit as that beautiful American flag comes blowing in from left center. But the Rogues there getting out of a little bit of trouble. First and second there with 2 outs. Peyton Fuller dealing out an important 0 for the Rogues as we go to break here. The Rogues coming up in the bottom of the third. This is the Medford Rogues, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group.
At People's Bank, we know that banking doesn't have to be complicated. Good banking happens when we put people first. Here at People's Bank, we're for the people with big dreams. We're here for families working on creating a better life for their children. We're for businesses investing locally to create a better community we're proud to call home. This is Ken Troutman, president of People's Bank. When we put people first, families grow stronger, businesses thrive, and our community flourishes. People's Bank. We put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And Sauceda doing a great job for the Lincoln Potters here as I am Jamie Flynn, Bringing you Medford Rogues Baseball, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. A little bit of a late playback by the walk-up song for Alex Iasola delays the Utah Utes at bat here, but the catcher for the Medford Rogues now stepping in as he's going to see a fastball high and away. Sauceda, as we've mentioned, has not gone too deep into games, although he did come on for a 6-inning relief appearance and got a win the first time out against the Chico Heat back on June 29th. Sauceda, the second pitch of the at-bat here, bounced near Iasola's feet, and Iasola, again, getting a 2-0 count that a lot of Rogues hitters are looking for, and almost any hitter, I should say, is looking for. Sauceda working quickly here. The next pitch is again lifted by Iasola in to right field for the first out. Alex flying out last time to the 9 position, the right fielder, doing it here yet again in the bottom of the 4th. Now we're going to see Johnny De La Cruz out of Louisiana Monroe, his second year with the Medford Rogues. The left fielder, Johnny, with a base hit up the middle last time. Johnny, 36 hits on the season, 5 doubles, a triple, no home runs. And Johnny's going to be late on a fastball and drive it down towards the kids playing on the play structure down the right field line next to the grass berm. What an awesome place for families and kids to come down. I see plenty of them out there this evening, a Saturday night in Medford, Oregon. And the count is now 0-1 on Johnny De La Cruz as the pitch comes in and is a strike, another fastball on the outer half of the plate. Sauceda getting behind Alex Iasola early, gets the fly ball, and now quickly 0-2 to Johnny De La Cruz. And wow, a line drive by De La Cruz right back to the right side of Sauceda, and Sauceda gets his glove up and kind of shrugs and goes, wow, I can't believe I caught that. A solid catch by the pitcher, doing his job all by himself and not via the strikeout. Johnny De La Cruz, though, the kind of guy for the Rogues that has been hitting balls directly at people on a line. Unfortunate for Johnny, as Josh Berman's now going to step to the plate, hit really hard at Sauceda, and if that doesn't get your blood flowing as a pitcher, I don't know what does. 2 outs now, and Berman fouls off a bunt attempt, something you don't see very often from Josh Berman, squaring around to try to catch the third baseman napping, and Josh fouls it off his own bat twice, and so Alex Chavez points to the box, calls it a foul ball, but a first pitch strike from Sauceda yet again. And this one's another strike, but it's a ground ball to the shortstop, and a little bit of sketchiness at first base by the first baseman, maybe battling that sun, but he wheels it in as Will Law makes the play at shortstop. 3 up, 3 down for the Rogues, unfortunately, in the bottom half of the 4th inning. I'm Jamie Flynn with the Medford Rogues call here, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. We'll be right back with the top of the 5th inning. Thank you for listening in. Rogues fans, we bring you Rogues Baseball featuring Michael Newman and the Newman Group. And we have a pitching change for you. Peyton Fuller is done. His line we'll bring to you in a moment. But now Aaron Hutchinson, number 31 from Phoenix, Oregon in the game and out of Lane Community College. Fuller, the aforementioned Fuller, 4 innings pitched on 4 hits. 2 runs, 1 of those earned. Unfortunately, that ball thrown in by Jake Helwig from right field found second base. Not so friendly to the Rogues as Hutchinson throws ball 1, but quickly comes back with strike 1 to even the count at 1-1. Finishing off Fuller's line, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts for the right-hander from Ashland, Oregon. Working really quickly here is Hutchinson, coming back with a slider for a strike as he works ahead in the count. 1-2 now. Hutchinson already looking in for the next pitch, and here's the windup from the Lane Community College right-hander, and this ball is going to be inside and low to Will Law, the batter for the Lincoln Potters, the number 3 batter in the order out of San Diego Mesa College. The 2-2 pitch is inside again to Law, and now it's a full count. Hutchinson here working with his first batter of the game. 2-1 Rogues, 2-1 Potters here early, as this one's bounced towards Josh Berman at first. An easy enough play for the Medford native. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. The line as it goes for the Potters is no runs in the first, 2 in the second, none in the third, none in the fourth. They have 1 out now here in the 5th. 2 runs scored on 4 hits and no errors. The Rogues only answered back in the 3rd inning, blanked the first 2, blanked in the 4th with 1 run on 3 hits, and the Rogues have 2 errors. And the windup and the pitch from Aaron Hutchinson to Zachary Hall, the right fielder, is for strike 1. And this one is the second pitch, and it's laced into shallow center, but Lowry coming on to make the second out. Quick work for Aaron Hutchinson here early in the 5th. Now 2 outs, and we have Isaiah Garcia out of Sierra College, the designated hitter and tonight's K-batter here at Harry and David Stadium. Harry and David Field, Harry and David Stadium, the Rogues Baseball here in July. Slider. Ball outside by Hutchinson. 1-0 the count here to Isaiah Garcia. Again, the slider outside from Hutchinson for ball 2, just off the plate, says Alex Chavez as he looks in after Jeff Lyle asked nicely, I'm sure, where that pitch was. And here's a fastball again on that outer half of the plate. Chavez behind the plate, nothing doing, just off apparently. Isola now sets up down the middle for the 3-0, and it's a green light and a chopper to the shortstop. Unfortunately, Scotty Wright's going to have his second error of the evening as this ball was skipped to Josh Berman. I'm not sure it was intentional, but Berman, unfortunately, not able to pick the ball as the Potters will get a runner on here in the top of the 5th. Hutchinson cruising there until he gets a 3-ball count. Lucky enough to see a green light from Isaiah Garcia, who hits a routine ground ball to Scotty Wright. Unfortunate for Scotty and the Rogues. Hutchinson now going to have to battle to get out of that error. And here's a first pitch fastball high in the zone, swung at and fouled over the the right side bleachers. Working quickly and ahead, 3 out of 4 batters is Aaron Hutchinson, the Phoenix native. And here's a pickoff from Aaron Hutchinson. Quickly back is Isaiah Garcia. Austin Swift out of Cal University, University of California, the left fielder, steps in. The right-hander, Hutchinson, making quick work, as I alluded to earlier, of the first 2 Potters. now in a little bit of a predicament as he throws a high slider here to even the count at 1-1. Nothing Aaron hasn't dealt with before. Been very solid out of the pen for the Rogues all season. Nothing like a base runner. A base runner would not phase him as he throws a changeup, it looks like, but kind of down the middle. And this one's going to actually eat up Johnny De La Cruz and get all the way to the wall. That's going to score a run for the Potters. A base hit that's going to turn into 3 bags for Austin Swift. As this one was hit pretty hard at Johnny De La Cruz, took a terrible hop on the left fielder for the Rogues, and it's going to be an unearned run for Aaron Hutchinson, and the lead is now extended 3-1 for the Lincoln Potters on 2 errors here in the top of the 5th, and threatening yet again, Alex Isola going to have to be, for want of a better word, a wall behind the dish here as a pass ball or a wild pitch will score another run, with Austin Swift now on third. Mason Allen now on third. And this one's blown by the 8-hitter Cameron Castaneda. And Aaron Hutchinson working out of a jam now officially for the Rogues. This one is chopped to DeLorfus at third. DeLorfus thinks it might have been a fair ball. Tried to grab it fair, certainly, as Mason Allen, is in the box, number 20. Trying to get a quick out for the Rogues there, but DeLorfus couldn't quite get to the ball while it was still fair. 3-1 Lincoln Potters here at Harry and David Field as Aaron Hutchinson dealing to Mason Allen out of Folsom Lake, the catcher for the Potters, an 0-2 count here. And here's the pitch. Again, does not get the outside strike call. Hutchinson really working the outside of the plate and off the black for the Rogues here. Not getting it. 1-2 here to the 7-hitter. The pitch is then blown by Mason Allen, and Hutchinson's going to get his strikeout and his first of the game. We are headed to the bottom of the 5th, fans. Thank you for listening in. I am Jamie Flynn. We have Medford Rogues baseball. The Rogues trail 3-1, headed to the bottom of the 5th. Rogues baseball presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. Rogues fans, we are back at Harry and David Field for the bottom of the 5th. The Rogues trailing 3-1. This presentation of Rogues baseball by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. We have our center fielder, Connor Lowry, out of Blackhawk Junior College, stepping to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lowry appears to square around for a drag bunt. The third baseman not fooled, and he pulls back, and the ball is coincidentally low for ball 1. And Lowry's going to chop the second one, though, over the shallow playing third baseman. And that's a good job by Connor Lowry to draw in the third baseman. And then, of course, I'm sure it was intentional for him to chop one straight down into the ground and over the third baseman's head. But either way, a base hit for Lowry. And the Rogues are cooking here in the bottom half of the fifth, and that's something you want to see after giving up a run and getting a little bit further down on the scoreboard, is to get your leadoff man on, and Lowry doing a great job. Been very good and solid for the Rogues all season long. Now stepping to the plate, the dog, as they call him down in the Rogues dugout, Braden Stutzman from the University of Oregon, as he takes a massive hack at the first pitch fastball. Braden, designated hitter tonight for the Rogues, with Lowry on first base. The 0-1 to Braden Stutzman is going to be strike two on the outer half, as Saucedo, working here in his fifth inning, gets one past Braden Stutzman on the outside corner. That strike that Aaron Hutchinson seemed to not be getting in the last inning, although 2 errors forcing the run across for the Potters. Time barked out by, it appeared to be the home plate umpire, but duly noted by the one in the field is, I think, Braden Stutzman calling time there here in the 0-2 count. This one's just outside on the switch, hitting Braden Stutzman, who's swinging from the right-hander's batter's box. That one was close, especially according to the pitch before. Stutzman, as I alluded to a moment ago, hitting in the right-hander's batter's box to avoid the left-hander Saucedo on the mound. The 1-2 is fouled straight back at us here in the booth. A good job by Stutzman to foul off a tough high fastball that I'm sure Alex Chavez back there would have called a strike just based on where it was. Not too high to be a ball there. Stutzman battling here with the Rogues, slightly threatening in the bottom of the fifth. Here's a pitch, and this one is grounded softly to the shortstop. They're going to get one at second, and they're going to get Stutzman at first. A 6-4-3, as you like it, a routine double play for the Potters, and Saucedo doing a great job of getting those outs when he really needs them. Now, no such thing as an out that's not needed when you're a pitcher, but Saucedo doing a good job of when he lets a leadoff guy on, going after the next batter, and unfortunately for Stutzman, grounding into that double play. It's going to bring Scotty Wright to the plate, the shortstop for the Medford Rogues. And this one's going to be an off-speed. Scotty flying into right. Last time you see there, we can see here they're shading Scotty to the right side in the outfield. The center fielder playing in right center. Lots of room in left center for Scotty, as this one's high, ball 2. And of course, the old-fashioned 2-out, 2-0 saying, 2 outs now, nobody on, and 2-0 to the batter, Scotty Wright. The third pitch is here, and Scotty's going to get jammed, unfortunately, and hit it to the right side. Easy as you like for the first baseman of the Lincoln Potters. And that's going to do it for the Rogues. 1-2-3 after the hit by Connor Lowry to lead things off. The Rogues go quietly in the 5th inning. I'm Jamie Flynn. This is Medford Rogues Baseball here at Harry and David Field, presented to you by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. Aaron Hutchinson coming back on the mound for the Rogues here in the top of the 6th, looking to throw a 0 up as the Rogues attempt to crawl back into this one. Hello, we're back. I'm Jamie Flynn on the Medford Rogues broadcast, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. Aaron Hutchinson back on for his second inning of work. Will face a pinch hitter here in number 15 for the Lincoln Potters, and this one's fouled off just behind the plate. It's now 1-1 for the Rogues. Excuse me, not a pinch hitter. It's going to be Cameron Castaneda out of Ohlone College, the third baseman. Jumped the gun there a little bit, but Aaron Hutchinson working quickly here. Finally gets that outside strike call on a slider to get ahead in the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch here from Hutchinson. It's going to be another slider, and it's looped gently towards Scotty Wright in the 6 hole. And the shortstop for the Rogues makes a nice, easy catch there for the first out of the inning. And a great job by Aaron Hutchinson. Sometimes as a broadcaster, when you get a guy working as fast as Hutch is out there, it's hard to keep up, but he's doing a great job of working quickly, and that's something that none of his fielders will complain about as they get back into the dugout faster that way. As this one, again, is chopped to the left side, and it's not going to be a play. Well, Scotty Wright's going to try to make a play, but no chance there. That ball bounced sky high, straight off the plate, I think, just over DeLorfis. Scotty grabbing the ball in the 6 hole, but no chance as that ball was up in the air for what seemed like forever. And the base hit by the 9 hitter Joseph Torres gets Lincoln their first base runner here in the top of the 6 is Zach Hoffman out of Colorado State. Pueblo steps to the plate, the center fielder for the Potters. This is an off-speed first strike one from Aaron Hutchinson. A short lead over at first base as the signs come in from the third base coach of the Potters. The leadoff man, Hoffman, about to get the 0-1. A pickoff from Aaron Hutchinson, but back in safely is Joseph Torres at first base. The left-hander, Zach Hoffman, now looking for the pitch from Hutchinson, and he'll deliver it. Nothing doing at first, but a ball high and away will even the count at 1-1. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. The Rogues trail 3-1 to the Lincoln Potters. This is a softer pitch on the inside half of the plate, maybe a changeup from Hutchinson, but it's going to be down for a ball, and 2-1 is the count. A base hit gets Joseph Torres, the 9-hole hitter, on first, and another pickoff. Josh Berman doing a great job dealing with the sun at about its worst point in the game for a first baseman right now as Hutchinson picks off. But here's the 2-1, and this one's going to be fisted towards Scotty Wright. What a play by Wright. An awesome diving catch in the 6 hole where all 3 balls have been hit this inning. Scott laying out, actually losing his sunglasses and making the catch. Hutchinson giving his guy a little bit of love, pointing at him. And the beautiful thing about it is Scott almost doubles up the runner at first base. A great play by Scott Wright to save a base hit from Zach Hoffman. Two outs here, and the first pitch in the next at bat to Jake Boyd is a slider outside by Aaron Hutchinson. 2 outs, a runner on first. 1-0 the count. Hutchinson again working quickly. A ball way outside here. 2-0 to the second baseman, again from Colorado State Pueblo. Back-to-back Colorado State Pueblo hitters to lead off the Lincoln Potters in this one. Jake Boyd playing second base and Zach Hoffman, center fielder, just retired. This one's chopped at David DeLorfis, though, the 2-0. DeLorfis is going to make a throw over to first. A tough stretch from Josh Berman, battling the sun, makes the play. And after one hit, the Potters go rather quietly. And that's going to be it for them. No runs, 1 left on base. I'm Jamie Flynn, bringing you Medford Rogues baseball. Your Rogues coming up to bat here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Lincoln Potters on top 3-1. This is Medford Rogues Baseball, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group.
Let's head back to the ballpark. You're listening to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on MedfordRogues.com.
And as we rejoin you, Medford Rogues fans, we have our leadoff hitter, Clay Valenzuela-Reese, the second baseman, stepping up to the plate here. Sauceda on the mound still for the Potters in the bottom of the sixth, as a ball is on the outside half of the plate for a strike. Clay not looking too happy after that call. This is the Medford Rogues at Harry and David Field, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. An 0-1 to Valenzuela-Reese is inside, bounced. Clay moving his feet a little bit to get out of the way there, kind of just instinct by the Campbellsville University native. And 1-1 is the count here. Sauceda, the pitch just a bit outside to Valenzuela-Reese. The Rogues trailing 3-1 as the Potters tacking on 2 in the second and 1 in the fifth. The Rogues finding their lone run in the third. Here's Valenzuela-Reese getting a ball on the outer half of the plate again, but he lifts it into shallow right center field. This center fielder on to make the catch. Zach Hoffman throwing it in to his counterpart, Will Law, and back to the pitcher, and that's going to be the first out as Davis DeLorfis, the Ute from University of Utah, and third baseman for the Medford Rogues, steps to the plate. One out here. The sun going down. We have Jaden France out at first base, doing the coaching duties for the Rogues tonight. The sun dipping down below his eyes, but DeLorfis is going to get a hold of the first pitch and drive it deep into left, and it's off the glove of the left fielder, just below the wall and just on the warning track. DeLorfis, I think they're going to give him a double there. They should give him a double there. Confirmed a double for Davis DeLorfis just below the wall. Man, I thought that one had a chance of getting out of there. A big double from David DeLorfis, the Utah Ute, to get the Rogues going here in the third. In the sixth, excuse me. Double that. A big swing from DeLorfis to really get him going again, and we're going to have to see if the rest of the Rogues lineup can get going as Jake Hellwig steps to the plate. And maybe they can as Hellwig drives one down the right field line. It's just foul into the bullpen. That is 2 jolts off of Medford Rogues bats there, back to back. It looked like if there was room down the right field line, the right fielder might have had a shot at that one. But Jake turning on a ball there, and Zach Hall having to just watch it fly into his bullpen. We have Davis DeLorfis on second, now 0-1. An off speed to Jake Hellwig to even the count at 1-1. 1 out. Some excitement early in the bottom half of the sixth as Davis DeLorfis drives one to left. And now Jake Hellwig stands in. An inside turn, nothing doing at second base. DeLorfis has jolted a couple balls out for the Rogues this season. That one looked good and surely would have hit the wall. Can't say how high up, but the left fielder goes crashing into it Austin Swift, and just off of his glove, the ball hits the warning track, and DeLorfus, standing safely on second base, gets the Rogues going with 1 out. Now behind in the count, a ball in the dirt yet again to Hellwig. Hellwig battling here, 2-1, looking for his pitch. And this one is his, and he's going to drive it again to right, maybe just a little bit underneath it, just below the warning track. The catch is made, and an audacious attempt to try to throw the runner out, DeLorfus at third. But a strong arm from the right fielder, Zach Hall. DeLorfus slides safely into third as the ball trickles into the infield. 2 outs now. Wow, another great piece of hitting by Jake Hellwig. Tough wind blowing in from center for the Rogues. Unfortunately, keeps that ball just shy of the warning track. Jake Hellwig just missing that, and we saw a couple nights ago on the homestand the Portland Pickles, Jake sending one out of here. But here's Alex Isola, who's flown out twice to right field thus far in this one. The 3-hitter fouls one to the right side for strike 1. Runner on third, Davis DeLorfus. Rogues down 3-1 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. This ball's way outside. Needs to be careful of the pass ball or wild pitch, Sauceda does here, or the Rogues will be cutting the lead in half. A 1-1 pitch. The delivery is a ball outside yet again, throwing everything away from Alex Isola. Davis DeLorfus, the 1-out double, and advances on a fly ball to right, and this one's way in now on Isola, and it's going to drive the count to 3-1. The Utah Ute looking for his pitch here in a 31 count as you like it, and he's going to get a fastball that home plate umpire Alex Chavez says is outside yet again. A steady diet of outside fastballs to Isola, but just outside enough that it's going to be 4 balls for Isola, and he's down at first. The Rogues get the tying run now on first base as we're going to have a mound visit. Johnny De La Cruz coming to the plate for the Rogues out of Louisiana Monroe. Let's pause the excitement a little bit here on Medford Rogues broadcast as we get a pitching visit from the pitching coach for the Lincoln Potters. This is Medford Rogue Baseball, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. Rogues fans, this is Medford Rogues Baseball at Harry and David Field, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group. Here's what happened for us. We had a fly out to left field by Clay Valenzuela-Reese, center field by Clay Valenzuela-Reese, a loud double down in deep left field by Davis DeLorfus. Jake Hellwig, another loud out for the Rogues. They've had several to right field, and then a walk to Alex Isola brings Johnny De La Cruz out of Louisiana Monroe to the plate, the left fielder, and he's going to take a ball outside. The Rogues down 3-1, threatening with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. DeLorfus now stands on third, Isola on first. The 1-0 to De La Cruz is fouled off over the grass berm down the right side. The tying run now on first base for the Rogues. Never want to walk a tying run on, never want a tying run on in the first place. But Isola having a good at bat. The Louisiana Monroe left fielder now, Johnny De La Cruz, looking for his second hit of the ball game. Had one to up the middle in his first at bat, but he can't get a base hit if the ball's not anywhere near the plate as that last one was, but a great job by the catcher Mason Allen for the Potters to get almost into the left-hander batter's box and snag that one. Sauceda doing a great job of holding the Rogues to 5 hits and 1 run here in 5 2/3 inning of work thus far. But losing it a little bit as he walked Alex Isola and now is in a dangerous count as this one's high to Johnny De La Cruz. 3-1 for De La Cruz. Looking to drive in at least 1 run and cut that lead in half. 3-1 Lincoln Potters here, and here's the 3-1 pitch, and Johnny's going to get the job done with a ball through the left side, a line drive in the 6 hole. What a beautiful sight here in Medford for the Medford Rogues and for their fans. A plane flies over in deep center. The sun is going down, and Johnny De La Cruz delivering with a base hit yet again for the Medford Rogues. They now have Alex Isola on second base, Johnny obviously on first, and Davis DeLorfis plating yet another run. He's had plenty of those in hitting in the 1 or 2 spot for the Rogues all season. And here's a big threat as the heavy hitter Josh Berman, the Medford native at a Clark College and first baseman, steps to the plate, a right-hander. And the Lincoln Potters coaching staff are going to elect to go lefty-righty matchup here and leave Sauceda in the game here. As Berman's going to rip one, it's going to be another base hit through the left side. Coach Lyle's going to send. No, he's not going to send. He's not going to send the runner from third, but now we're in a pickle here. And Isola, not the fastest, is going to get tagged out, unfortunately, in a pickle down the third base line. Some miscommunication as Johnny De La Cruz ran about 3/4 of the way between second and third, forcing Alex Isola to try to score, even though the ball was in the infield. A great hit by Josh Berman, unable to plate a run for the Rogues, but they do half the lead here as they leave 2 runners on with a few hits against Sauceda. It's been a pleasure for me, Jamie Flynn, broadcasting for the Medford Rogues this evening. I'm going to hand it back to John Kerman after the break. Thank you very much. The Rogues half the lead here. It's now 3-2 Lincoln Potters as we head to the 7th inning. Medford Rogues baseball presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group.
How many times we've had to replace a window here at the ballpark because of a stray fly ball. When we need our windows fixed or replaced, the only team we trust are the folks at Bill's Glass. With locations in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass, Bill's Glass is the fastest and most affordable glass service in Southern Oregon. When you hear that crash, think Bill's Glass. This Rogues broadcast is also brought to you by Mary's Barbecue. Tender, juicy, slow-smoked meat, homemade sides, and friendly service, and it's easy for anyone in Southern Oregon to get to. Mary's Barbecue Point at 841 East Pine Street in Central Point. Follow along on Facebook or their website, marysbarbecueplace.com. Welcome back, Rogue Nation. I am Jonathan Kerman, back with you on the call. Thanks so much to Jamie Flynn making his play-by-play debut on the Rogues broadcast. Did a terrific job with innings 4, 5, and 6. We're in the top of the 7th. Rogues trail 3-2 to the Lincoln Potters. On in relief, Malik Evans. He is quickly behind in the count 2-0 to Will Law. Next pitch outside, so 3-0 the count now. So tell me, Jamie, how did that feel? And that's a 4-pitch walk given up by Malik Evans to Will Law to lead off the top of the 7th.
Well, it felt great, first and foremost. I'm very honored to be playing for the Rogues for this long and getting an opportunity to do two things that I love. One, play baseball, and two, talk about baseball. And I hope the experience continues. It's something that I want to do, and it's something that I hope to do for a long time. And as we get back into the game, I can't be appreciative enough for what everybody's done for me in the Medford Rogues organization.
Called strike to Zachary Hall, the right fielder. 0-1, runner on first, nobody out here in the top of the 7th, 3-2. Your Rogues trail. Here's the 0-1 by Malik Evans. That one swung on, hit softly to the second baseman. Valenzuela-Reese flips it over to second for one. That's all they're going to get. The force out at second base to retire Will Law. Zachary Hall aboard on the fielder's choice. So one out now here in the top of the 7th. That'll bring up Isaiah Garcia. Isaiah Garcia has struck out and reached twice on an error. He is 0 for 1 on the day. As we get set, one out in the top of the 7th inning. Runner on first for the Potters. Here's the pitch from Malik Evans. That one's in there for a strike. 0-1. Malik Evans, a product of Springfield, Oregon, plays for Campbellsville University alongside Clay Valenzuela-Reese over there at second base. Pitch is in there for a strike. Here's the 0-1. That one's a high breaking ball that just got away from Malik Evans. 1-1.
It just got away from Malik there, and that's something that, maybe the ball slips. Not something that you worry about. Obviously, Malik, as much of a competitor as he is, he's a little bit upset with himself that he couldn't throw that one near the zone. But he has to do a good job of making a purposeful pitch here, round 2.
That ball is high. 2-1 the count. Potters getting 2 runs in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th. Rogues getting 1 in the 3rd and 1 in this last half inning in the 6th. Next pitch is outside. Isola lost it for its second, but the ball is right down there at his feet. 3-1 the count with a run around first for the Potters.
One has to think with that one, John, is if Isola catches that ball, there's a good chance it's a strike, but a veteran move from Alex Chavez behind the plate, not necessarily going to give a strike call if the catcher can't catch it.
Next pitch is outside for ball 4.
So this is what I'm thinking if you're the Medford Rogues is Christian Coronado is going to head out and talk to Malik Evans. Malik's the kind of guy that can totally get himself out of this jam. And you want to throw a 0 up after scoring a run. We've alluded to that several times. But something that Coach Coronado is going to be telling Malik is that your stuff's good enough to get that ground ball. And so he's going to be looking for that as we come back after the break.
As Jamie alludes to, we are going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Heroes is the new place for gourmet subs, wraps, salads, and burgers. People are really talking about how Heroes is the best sandwich shop in town. Go give them a try. Eat like a hero. Hero Subs.
Now, back to Harry and David Field. You're listening to Medford Rogues Baseball.
Live on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Top of the 7th inning, runners on first and second for the Potters. 1 out. I'm joined by Rogue starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. That first ball is hit sharply to the shortstop, Scotty Wright. They over to Valenzuela-Reese at second.
What
over
did
to
we
Josh
say?
Berman at first for the double play. As Jamie Flynn predicted, Malik Evans gets himself out of the jam.
And you know what? I have to tell you what. I'm sure that's what Clay Valenzuela-Reese, who went up after Coronado came out and met with the pitcher and the catcher there, told him. The Campbellsville buddies, Clay said, Malik, you have the stuff. We know you have the stuff. Get us a ground ball. Unfortunately, not to Clay, but Clay gets his hands on it as a 6-4, 3 double play. What a turn by the Rogues, and that is a big, big 0 for the Medford Rogues in the top half of the 7th inning.
We head to the bottom of the 7th. We're going to stretch here at Harry and David Field on Military Appreciation Night. Rogues trail 3-2. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm Jonathan Kerman. Joining me, starting pitcher for the Medford Rogues, Jamie Flynn. Stick around. Take a stretch. We'll be back right after this. For over 60 years, Lippert's Carpet One has been dedicated to helping people find the best flooring solutions for their home or business. And for over 60 years, Lippert's has sponsored and donated to many organizations in our community, and we appreciate them. If you want to completely transform a room, Lippert's has many products available, and there are more choices than ever. Whether for your home or business, Lippert's has a professional staff dedicated to helping you find exactly what you're looking for. Lippert's thanks you for over 60 years of being your flooring source. Located in Medford on North Pacific Highway or Rogue River Highway in Grants Pass, or find them at lipperts.com.
Be sure to follow the Rogues on social media for giveaways, special behind-the-scenes features, and more. Like us on Facebook at Medford Rogues Baseball, and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Medford Rogues.
Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball live on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Bottom of the seventh inning, the Rogues trail 3-2. Connor Lowry at the plate. First pitch swinging, hits one high, not very far into left center field. It'll be the second baseman, Jake Boyd, to make the grab for the first out of the seventh inning. On in relief for the Potters, Adrian Gonzalez plays for Los Angeles Pierce College. Right-handed thrower, 215, 6'1". Joining me on the broadcast is Rogue starting pitcher Jamie Flynn.
All right, John, and with a 12.2 ERA, this is the guy the Rogues need to get after. He's only thrown 7 1/3. His strikeout-to-walk ratio is pretty even, plenty of hits, but he's given up 10 earned runs thus far in 7 innings.
Braden Stutzman tries to lay down the bunt. He pulls back, says the field ump, Eric Martinez. Alex Chavez gestured over to him to help with that call. Braden Stutzman now batting from the left-handed batter's box. Stutzman, the lone switch hitter for the team. That one outside, 2-0. 1 out, bottom of the seventh inning. Rogues trail 3-2.
And yeah, as they tend to do, the switch hitters hitting from the left side with a righty now in the game. Stutzman might be one of the only switch hitters in the entire Great West League. I don't think I've faced one since I've been out on the mound, but I can't recall watching any other teams own a switch hitter as well, John. Can you elaborate on that? Do you recall any other switch hitters?
I haven't seen many. It's a 4-pitch walk to Braden Stutzman. He's aboard with 1 out here in the bottom of the seventh. Braden Stutzman is the tying run. That'll bring up Scotty Wright, who, in my personal opinion, has one of the best walk-up songs on the team. It's the Friends theme song.
And, I'm a Friends supporter as well. It's just one of those shows you can throw on at any point in time and enjoy no matter what you're doing. Actually, quite often after our games, I'll be making food at home and just throw on the theme song that I think a lot of people know, a lot of TV goers know. And as good as his theme song is, Scotty Wright needs to go get a knock here for the Rogues.
First pitch to Scotty Wright. Off speed, drops in there for a strike, 0-1. 1 out. Braden Stutzman at first. He walked. Waiting on deck, Clay Valenzuela-Reese.
And so this is something you, on the flip side, as Scott wants to get the hit here, this is something you don't want to do if you're Adrian Rodriguez, is walk the 9-hitter to face such a dangerous top of the order that the Rogues can throw at you.
Next pitch to Scotty Wright. Fastball catches the outside part of the plate. Wright quickly in a hole, 0-2.
And a little bit of inconsistency, I think, from Alex Chavez behind the plate thus far as the outside pitch to a right-hander is concerned. Some of them have been balls and some have been strikes. Now, we're not directly behind home plate, John, by any means, but I think that some of those are off and some of them are on, and he kind of hasn't decided if they're all going to be strikes or all going to be balls yet, and we're deep in this ball game.
Next pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Scotty Wright down swinging. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up the leadoff man for the Medford Rogues. He already has a RBI single in this game, working on a 13-game hitting streak. Clay Valenzuela-Reese.
Clay's put together a really nice summer, as we've said every time he stepped to the plate for the Rogues here. He's creeping up on over 360 average coming into the game, and the guy needs to put one into a gap here. As
that ball's in the dirt. Braden Stutzman on the play is running, and he is tagged out. He didn't even slide. So the inning ends for the Rogues on a throw out at second base. Braden Stutzman caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
And that's something that you're going to do if you're Jeff Lyle, is you're going to run with your leadoff guy in the box and 2 outs. You might gamble and run there. And if he gets on, then you got a great guy in scoring position for one of your better hitters. But if he gets out, you're coming up in the 8th as the Rogues are in their bottom half with Clay Valenzuela-Reese, the leadoff hitter, stepping into the box.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the top of the 8th inning. Rogues trail 3-2 here at Harry and David Field on Military Appreciation Night. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. The Rogues would like to thank Rogue Credit Union for their continued support of Medford Rogues baseball and the surrounding Southern Oregon community. Our friends at Rogue Credit Union are striking out hunger. Rogue Credit Union is donating $10 to Access each time a Rogues pitcher strikes out a player from the opposing team during a home game. Rogue Credit Union, living local, it's a Rogue thing. Rogues baseball is also brought to you by Morton's Family Dining and Bar. Morton's offers something for everyone. Morton's has a full sports bar, a separate family dining side of the restaurant, and even delivery. Check out their website, mortons.com. That's Mortons with 2 R's. The Rogues would also like to thank our friends at your local Rogue Valley, Fred Meyer. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We're in the top of the 8th inning here at Harry and David Field on Military Appreciation Night. Rogues trailing 3-2. Pitching change for the Rogues. Will Floyd on in relief. A pinch hitter for the Lincoln Potters. Aiden Malm is in there. Takes a first pitch inside, ball 1. Will Floyd from Fort Worth, Texas, plays for Blinn JC in his spare time. Big right-hander, 6'2", even 200. 1 ball, no strikes, no out, top of the 8th inning. I'm joined by Rogue starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. Next pitch is swung on, hit high and not very far. It's an infield pop fly. Looks like it'll be the second baseman, Valenzuela-Reese, makes the catch a step in front of the outfield grass for the first out of the 8th inning.
Really good job by Floyd there to get behind, but then trust what he's got. And he's got some of the best stuff on the Rogues coming out of the bullpen. Hard-throwing right-hander. Trusts his fastball there and gets inside on the hands of the batter there, the pinch hitter, Malm, and does a great job of forcing weak contact to Clay Valenzuela-Reese just behind first base.
That'll bring up Cameron Castaneda, the third baseman. Castaneda is 2 for 4 on the day. 2 singles and a run scored. Looks at a first pitch strike at the knees, 0-1. 1 out, bases clear here in the top of the 8th inning. Rogues trail 3-2.
Something the Rogues coaching staff will be really happy about tonight, at least as far as the first 7 and a third inning is concerned, is, first of all, obviously 3 runs is something that you would hope the Rogues could best, and I'm hoping they will by the end of this one. But something that the Rogues have done very well, as the coaches preached earlier this afternoon, is that 0-0 pitch. Trust your fastball. It doesn't have to be painted out on the outside on the black, or you don't have to get it super far inside to where it's a ball. Let it run over the plate and attack the hitters and get that first pitch strike, and they've done a great job tonight.
Next pitch was fouled back. This one is high and inside. The count is 1-2 to Cameron Castaneda. 1 out, nobody on for the Potters here in the top of the 8th.
And what I think he's trying to do there, John, is kind of disrupt the timing and the eye level of the hitter there as he goes up and in, and it would be interesting to see, but I think an off-speed's coming here.
Will Floyd throws that off-speed pitch. It's a very weak bloop. Ball hit to Clay Valenzuela-Reese, who gloves it for the second out of the 8th inning.
And that's something that if you do a good job of throwing that high fastball and changing the eye level, then the hitter is most likely with 2 strikes going to be looking for that soft pitch away, and Floyd does a great job of throwing a quality one there, that it was low enough and off the end of the bat, that it was a very light pop-up to Valenzuela-Reese, who's made now both outs in the inning. But another very useful pitch that Will could have used there is an inside fastball and broken a bat there as well. Because, go ahead, John.
That ball fouled back by the first baseman, Joseph Torres, who just stepped into the batter's box.
Sorry, just to continue the theory a little bit more, is that if he comes inside there after changing a high fastball, he gets to assume that the batter's looking for that slower pitch away. It's going to break a bat and get weak contact just the same. So it's kind of one of those numbers games that you play depending on which one you think the batter might be looking for, depending on who the batter is. But the number one rule, John, is pitch to your strengths, and Will did a great job there.
Here's the 0-1 from Will Floyd. That one catches the outside part of the plate at the knees. A great location on that fastball.
And Will does a great job when he works ahead. And as I mentioned earlier, John, and you've been watching all year, when he gets ahead and does his thing, unstoppable. And it's looking like, well, I better not jinx it, but it's looking like a 1-2-3 inning with an 0-2 count here.
Here's the 0-2. That one swung on, fouled back. We'll do this again. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Top of the 8th inning, Rogues trail 3-2. 3 runs on 6 hits for the Potters, 2 runs, 7 hits, 4 errors for the Medford Rogues.
Consecutive zeros here for the Rogues. It'll be 3 in a row if Will can get out of this one. And that's huge because the Rogues are obviously fighting from behind, and there's no better recipe than throwing up zeros on the board and the other team not scoring when you're trying to crawl your way back into it. And the Rogues have been resilient all year as hitters, and they've done a really good job of coming through when it counts late in the ball game.
Here's the 0-2 from Will Floyd. Off-speed pitch misses high. 1-2 the count. Was that a slider that I saw?
That was a slider that you saw from Will, and that's great that you're picking that up because he did the exact same thing that he tried to do with the last batter. The pitch that preceded that slider was a high fastball that was fouled out back over us, and then he missed his spot there, but he tried to throw another slider low and away, and it just backed up on him a little bit.
The 1-2 swung on, waved at, just got a piece, did Joseph Torres. He was fooled badly on that pitch.
And that's a really good job of Torres with 2 strikes. That's a really good job with Torres of 2 strikes to foul off that tough slider that Will threw there. And Will would have loved to have thrown that in the pitch before, but he sticks with his slider. A lot of conviction behind that pitch. Tip the cap to the batter here, but it's going to be interesting to see if Will elects to go with the off speed again or try to come inside, as I would here in this situation because the bat has now been slowed down, but he goes with the off-speed, John.
That ball swung on and missed. It was outside. Alex Isola blocked it with his chest plate, picked the ball up, fired over to first for the strikeout to end the inning. We head to the home half of the 8th inning. Lincoln Potters on top of the Medford Rogues, 3-2. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Bottom of the 8th inning, Rogues trail 3-2. Clay Valenzuela-Reese, who already has an RBI single in this ballgame, up to bat. New pitcher for the Lincoln Potters, Alex Blazik, out of Poway, California, attends Sacramento State University. Next pitch is outside to Clay Valenzuela-Reese. 2-0 the count here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Joining me on the call today, Rogue starting pitcher Jamie Flint.
And the freshman from Sac State, now Alec Blazik, out on the mound. This appears to be his first Great West League appearance as he
plunks Clay Valenzuela-Reese. So the leadoff man is aboard, the tying run on base for the Medford Rogues.
And respectively, our PA guys decide to start playing the Jaws music, and I think the blood in the water might be being smelt by the Rogues hitters here. They're a thirsty bunch, and it's going to be a mound visit, but at the same time, the Rogues are looking to get that run.
Big spot in this ballgame. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Rogues trail 3-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. The tying run, Clay Valenzuela-Reese at first, nobody out. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. I'm Jonathan Kerman. Joining me is Rogue starting pitcher Jamie Flynn. Big spot in this ball game. Bottom of the 8th inning.
A balk.
Nobody out, and they call a balk on Alex Blazik. The pitch to Davis DeLorfis will not count on the balk. So the first pitch was if it were a pitch, was a ball to Davis DeLorfis. Home plate umpire calls it a balk. So now the tying run is in scoring position for the Medford Rogues with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And DeLorfis squared to bunt there, and I'm sure he's going to do the same thing here. The beauty about the balk is it's sort of like a pass interference is the best way to describe it in a football game for those people that follow football as well, is it's a free play for the offense. So Davis, had that have been a good pitch, he might have swung at it.
Davis DeLorfis shows bunt, pulls it back. The ball goes off the catcher's left foot. Elijah Garcia, the catcher behind home plate, catching Alec Blazik. Clay Valenzuela-Reese advancing to third on the plate. Now the tying run just 90 feet from home. Davis DeLorfis hasn't swung the bat. The Rogues don't have a hit in this inning.
That is a free 270, as we like to call it, and that means 3 free 90s or 3 free bases for Valenzuela-Reese, and he didn't have to swing the bat either to get on base. Nope. And now DeLorfis, who last time I checked was leading the Great West League in RBIs, and he's up there somewhere. Mm-hmm. He's got to smell the blood in the water here.
The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. Rogues trail 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nobody out. Clay Valenzuela-Reese at third. Davis DeLorfis at the plate trying to get the tying run home. Next one is inside. 2 balls and 1 strikes. Waiting on deck, the right fielder, Jake Hellwig.
Yeah, and you can't really just walk them and then try to battle out of this one because you have multiple Rogues hitters that can do damage right now behind Davis DeLorfis.
Indeed. Next pitch to DeLorfis is outside, so 3-1 the count. DeLorfis in a great hitter's count. Let's see if he gets something to hit here. Clay Valenzuela-Reese at third. Nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Rogues down a run.
And I better correct myself because Davis DeLorfis is the runs leader in the league, in the Great West League. He has the most runs scored, not the most RBIs. That's Alex Isola with 36.
So Isola piggybacking, jumping over Davis DeLorfis and Connor Lowry. So I think it's been a Rogues player leading the
fest.
RBI. Yes.
RBI fest.
It's the full count to DeLorfis. That one is swung on and missed, strike 3. So DeLorfis cannot bring Clay Valenzuela-Reese home. However, with still just 1 out, a terrific spot for Jake Hellwig to tie this ballgame. So I think after the first, we'll say week, because those first couple days the rankings flip all up and down.
Sure, yeah, they do.
Connor Lowry was the RBI leader for a while.
For a long time.
And then Davis DeLorfis overtook him for a few weeks, and now it's Alex Isola.
The Iceman. And I think a couple home runs helped him against the Portland Pickles, that's for sure. But it's interesting. This is where the Medford Rogues could put something on. The coaching staff of the Rogues love to put on a suicide or a safety squeeze. And Jake Hellwig has the skill to do it. But, unfortunately, the Lincoln Potters playing way in on the grass here with this RBI situation.
Especially off the right side of the field, which is very interesting. Jake Hellwig looked at a ball, takes that one for a strike, 1-1. Jake Hellwig, the left-handed batter, is a massive pull hitter. He hits everything to the right side
Jake
of the field.
Loves the 4-hole. That's what we always tell him down in the dugout. He loves hitting it in the 4-hole.
Here's the 1-1. That one's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Clay Valenzuela-Reese, the tying run at third base, 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning.
Yep, you got this string of Rogues hitting over 300, which is something incredible in any league in the country, and it's dangerous here.
Big swing and a miss by Jake Hellwig. Count is even 2-2.
So that swing looked a lot like it was for Jake Hellwig himself trying to drive a ball hard to the outfield, but now with 2 strikes, this is a selfless swing that you need to have here to do damage and try to score a run for the Rogues.
The 2-2 in the dirt didn't get far from Elijah Garcia. Clay Valenzuela-Reese scampers back to third. The count is now full for Jake Hellwig.
And I think what's really tough there and a great job by Valenzuela-Reese down at third is that ball kind of got hidden underneath the catcher's gear and his knee there, and Clay thought about coming home but did a great job of reading that one.
Here's the full count pitch. Swung on, fouled back. We'll do this again. My goodness. A huge spot in this ballgame. Clay Valenzuela-Reese, the tying run just 90 feet from home. Jake Hellwig trying to bring him home. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rogues trail 3-2. Hellwig, the big left-handed hitter, waits on the full count pitch. Here it is. That one hits him. Ooh. It was way inside. It hit him. Looked like on the front knee or the thigh almost. That one looked painful because that was a fastball, certainly.
Yes, fastball, no doubt about it. The hard throwing out of hard-throwing right-hander out of Sac State with his second hit by pitch thus far in the inning. That's why Clay is over at third, and it looks like there's going to be, this is the second visit of the inning, is it not?
It is. It's the second visit of the inning.
This means we're going to have a pitching change here.
We are. Alex Blazik goes just a third of an inning, is responsible for Clay Valenzuela-Reese at third, Jake Helwig at first. When we come back, the rest of this ballgame, don't go anywhere. Rogues trail 3-2, bottom of the 8th inning, 1 out. Tying run just 90 feet from home. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on medfordrogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan expert. The Rogues would like to thank Rogue Credit Union for their continued support of Medford Rogues baseball and the surrounding Southern Oregon community. Our friends at Rogue Credit Union are striking out hunger. Rogue Credit Union is donating $10 to Access each time a Rogues pitcher strikes out a player from the opposing team during a home game. Rogue Credit Union. Living local. It's a Rogue thing.
Catch the Rogues all season long, right here on MedfordRogues.com.
Presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Runners on the corners for the Rogues with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They're down 3-2. Stepping up to the plate, the RBI leader of the Great West League and the Great West League Player of the Week, Alex Isola. Here's the first pitch from the new pitcher for the Potters, Jacob Gomez. Swung on, hit up the middle. That's a base hit. Alex Isola with an RBI single ties the ball game, sending home Clay Valenzuela-Reese. We're all knotted up at 3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And a great piece of hitting there. That is a cardinal sin as far as I'm concerned as a reliever to come in and throw a fastball first pitch to a very prominent hitter that the Medford Rogues have in Alex Isola. You want to come in and be able to throw that off speed because that's exactly what Isola is looking for there. New pitcher coming in and just trying to test the waters. No, you have to be ready to throw an off speed and force Alex Isola to either take it or hit a ground ball. And then you tip the cap if he gets anything else. But in that case, a fastball right down Broadway, and Alex does a great job, doesn't try to do too much with it, drives it back up the middle. And I thought the coolest part about that whole thing, John, was Clay Valenzuela-Reese casually running home from third, pumping his fists, and talking to his dugout to try to get them more involved in the game. Only 1 out here in the 8th.
Runners on first and second for the Rogues. Stepping up to the batter's box, Johnny De La Cruz looks at a strike. 0-1. Helwig at second, Isola at first.
And go figure, it takes the reliever there 1 pitch too long to throw that off speed. A great slider there to De La Cruz to get the count to 0-1.
1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Next one is outside. Evens the count 1-1. All knotted up at 3 here thanks to the RBI single by Alex Isola.
Gomez seems like one of the guys for the Lincoln Potters thus far this year. He's 2-0. He's got 1 game started, also 1 saved with a 3.6 ERA.
The 1-1 pitch is hit softly to the shortstop. Will Law makes a good play. Are they going to get him? Ooh, they barely get Johnny De La Cruz. He is punched out by the field ump. Eric Martinez, the Rogues fans not liking that one. It was a bang-bang play down there at first. At any rate, the runners do advance. So now Jake Helwig is at third. Alex Isola is at second. Josh Berman. And we're going to have a pinch hitter, actually, for Josh Berman.
Yes, we are.
It's going to be El Tortuga.
El Tortuga.
Dante Gutierrez from University of San Diego.
Yeah, and Tortuga's batting .255 right now. Plenty of RBIs for him with 19. He's done a great job swinging on the left side here. Berman not going to do the righty-righty matchup. They're going to let Dante come in, play first base, and try to drive in the Rogues' go-ahead run or two here. Tough play on that last one. A great throw by Will Law, the shortstop.
Runners at second and third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning, all tied at 3 between the Medford Rogues and the Lincoln Potters. First pitch to El Tortuga. Outside. Ball 1. A huge spot in this ballgame. Dante Gutierrez with a chance to put the Rogues on top. The 1-0 is high. Ball 2.
And this is great for Dante. It's super nice to come in as a pinch hitter and see 2 balls that are nowhere near the strike zone because you get to relax. You try to get amped up, and especially in this sort of situation, as it looks like they're actually going to intentionally walk him now after those 2 are nowhere near the zone to bring up the right-hander. But as far as Tortuga's concerned, really nice to come into the game and kind of get his feet wet and then send down to first, and he'll maybe be coming up in the 9th inning with another big at-bat for the Rogues.
So the intentional walk to Dante Gutierrez. He will make his way over to first. The bases are now loaded for the former RBI leader of the Great West League, Connor Lowry.
Lowry got off to an extremely hot start for the Rogues. Now batting just south of 250, but Lowry's the kind of guy that can deliver when you need him to, and he's been a mainstay at, I guess, any position, John, for the Rogues in the last 2 years. Lowry's the kind of guy that you want at the plate, that everybody in the Rogues dugout has confidence in right now, and Lowry should have a lot of confidence himself.
First pitch to Connor Lowry in there for a strike, 0-1. The box score will tell you that Connor Lowry has been on a pretty rough cold streak. However,
no doubt,
I can tell you that he has been absolutely lacing the ball, and it just happens to find the fielder's gloves. Next pitch, a off-speed, catches the outside part of the plate. Connor Lowry doesn't like the call, but he's in a hole 0-2 with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're all tied at 3. Gomez gets the sign from Garcia. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high, not very far into left center field. Coming on, it'll be the center fielder, Zach Hoffman, who makes the catch. However, the important run comes home on the RBI single by Alex Isola, scoring Clay Valenzuela-Reese. We are all tied at 3 as we head to the top of the 9th inning. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. For over 60 years, Lippert's Carpet One has been dedicated to helping people find the best flooring solutions for their home or business. And for over 60 years, Lippert's has sponsored and donated to many organizations in our community, and we appreciate them. If you want to completely transform a room, Lippert's has many products available, and there are more choices than ever. Whether for your home or business, Lippert's has a professional staff dedicated to helping you find exactly what you're looking for. Lippert's wants to thank you for being your flooring source for over 60 years. Located in Medford on North Pacific Highway or Rogue River Highway in Grants Pass, or find them at lipperts.com.
Be sure to follow the Rogues on social media for giveaways, special behind-the-scenes features, and more. Like us on Facebook at Medford Rogues Baseball and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Medford Rogues.
Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, live on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We are in the top of the 9th inning, all tied at 3 between the first place Medford Rogues and the second place Lincoln Potters. The Potters are up to bat. It's the top of the order for Lincoln: Zach Hoffman, Jake Boyd, and Will Law. Zach Hoffman had a sac fly, 2 RBI on a tough play for Peyton Fuller back in the second inning. First pitch delivered by the new pitcher for the Rogues, DJ Wilson, in there for a strike, 0-1. Joining me on the call, Jamie Flynn. Next pitch, a great off-speed pitch that is going to be hit to the 6-hole. A great play by Scotty Wright at short, but it's not going to be in time. It was a high chopping ball. DeLorphis tried to make a play on it. Scotty Wright did, delivered an accurate throw to Dante Gutierrez over there at first, replacing Josh Berman, but it's not in time.
I think had that been an out, our guy BG Gould probably would have ruled it a 5-6-3 put out the old-fashioned way. Anyways, I think that means, as far as I'm concerned, I think it went off Davis's glove there just slightly. Scotty, too quick was the base runner, Zach Hoffman, for Scotty Wright to throw that over for an out.
So the leadoff runner on. The next pitch is going to be a ball down the third base line and fair. We'll see if they had two. They do not. So it is a single down the third base side. The Potters have runners at first and second and nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning.
This is so hard for DJ Wilson. You know, he's got that lower arm slot, sinker baller, does a great job of locating the pitches where he wants to. But DJ comes in and gets 2 tough ground ball base hits past infielders, one a high chopper and one that just squeaked through Davis DeLorphis, who was in guarding the bunt. And I'm sure the bunt will be coming here as we go to a mound visit. Jeff Lyle's out there.
Jeff Lyle and the entire infield having a conversation, no doubt, about this 2-1, no one out situation. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the rest of this ball game all tied up at 3 here in the 9th inning. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Top of the 9th inning, tied ball game, runners on first and second for the Potters. The bunt is laid down by Will Law. The only play is to first. DJ Wilson makes the play. A great great rotation defensively by the Medford Rogues there.
Well, I think, first of all, a great bunt by Will Law there. That's important out of your 3-hole to do that, who's maybe a guy that's not particularly used to bunting at whatever school he's at. And second of all, great job by DJ Wilson to lead Clay Valenzuela-Reese towards the bag with the ball to make sure to get that out. If they're giving you an out, you have to take it.
They are going to intentionally walk Zach Hall to load the bases with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning.
Hall hitting a home run last night, and it's a righty-lefty matchup, as we alluded to so many times tonight, John. They're gonna walk him, and they're gonna face the right-hander next in Isaiah Garcia, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yep, Isaiah Garcia coming up next, and DJ's gonna look for another ground ball, and he's gonna stay confident, and he's gonna try to get that ground ball that allows for the Rogues to turn a double play and quickly get out of this inning.
So the bases are now loaded. 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. 3 runs on 8 hits for the Potters. 3 runs, 8 hits for the Medford Rogues. Isaiah Garcia is 0 for 1 on the day. He reached twice on errors and once on a walk. So the game potentially hanging in the balance right here.
And the Rogues going for it all, calling Scott Wright And Clay Valenzuela-Reese in, as well as the corner infielders.
Here's the first pitch to Garcia. That's inside. Ball 1.
And this is, unfortunately, the Rogues love going inside, but this is a time that DJ Wilson's going to have a tough time committing to going inside, because obviously hitting a batter here is going to produce a run for the Lincoln Potters.
1 ball, no strikes to Isaiah Garcia, the DH for the Potters. Next pitch in there for a strike. Evens the count, 1 apiece. Zach Hoffman at third, Jake Boyd at second, Zach Hall at first. 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Bases loaded. Here we go, the 1-1 from DJ Wilson. That one, did it hit him? No.
It did hit him.
It did hit him.
They're going to make him stay in the box. He didn't try to get out of the way, and
wow.
home plate umpire is going to make him stay in the box, and it's just going to be a ball.
Wow, what a huge call by home plate umpire Alex Chavez. That ball definitely got Isaiah Garcia, but he'll have to keep hitting. And I think they're going to call out the trainer.
Yep, there's Rob Patterson. That's our guy.
So the Rogues trainer, Rob Patterson, coming out to have a look at Isaiah Garcia, who got hit by a ball. The home plate umpire, Alex Chavez, ruling that Garcia didn't do enough to try to get out of the way of that one. Wow. So 2 balls and 1 strike, the count, with the bases loaded, 1 out in a tied ball game in the 9th inning.
And of course, you don't want to say that there's a home field advantage as far as umpires are concerned. I think Alex totally made the right call there from an unbiased standpoint. I think that that's absolutely the right call. There was no movement whatsoever by Garcia there. He stayed in the box, and at this level, now in the major leagues, they take their base. There's no try to get out of the way of the pitch, but at this level in collegiate baseball, you have to make some sort of attempt to get out of the way, even if it's just as simple as like moving your elbow out of wherever the ball is, projected. We're projecting the ball to go, but he did not. He was as solid as a gargoyle or a statue there, and so DJ Wilson is going to be the main beneficiary of that particular call, as they're still looking at Garcia.
Still looking at Garcia, still a tied ball game here in the top of the 9th inning. We're going to take a quick commercial break as Isaiah Garcia takes some practice swings. You're listening to the Medford Rogues live stream on MedfordRogues.com, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. Welcome back, Rogue Nation. We are ready to continue with this ball game. Bases loaded, top of the 9th inning, 1 out. Isaiah Garcia in a 2-1 count. DJ Wilson on the mound. That pitch is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. A huge spot in this ball game. Jamie Flynn, Rogue starting pitcher, joining me on the call this evening.
It's really tough for DJ there to not come back into the zone. Obviously a long break, but you got to come back into the zone after you hit a guy like that and show him that you can still get it done.
Oh, and that 3-1 ball is hit just foul. Holy cow. Isaiah Garcia got all of that one, was just a little ahead on that pitch.
I think we might have to attest that foul ball call to the guys down in the bullpen for the Medford Rogues, who were all shouting and screaming, foul ball, and not that necessarily influenced Alex Chavez's call behind the plate. I think it was foul from where we're sitting for sure, John, but wow. Wow is about it right now for me.
I think the will of the Rogues bullpen pulled that ball off the line.
Absolutely. Big 3-2 pitch here now, though, from DJ.
Bases loaded, 1 out in the top of the 9th, tie ball game. Here's the 3-2 from DJ Wilson to Isaiah Garcia. And it is outside. There was a check swing, but he didn't go around, says Alex Chavez. And the lead run for the Potters is walked home. The Potters now on top 4-3 over your Rogues here in the top of the 9th inning. That was a close final pitch of that at-bat.
Very close final pitch. Obviously getting that check swing that didn't go around by Garcia. Good at bat by him, especially after getting plunked there. But this is big for DJ Wilson. He has to minimize this inning.
Stepping up now, Austin Swift, the left fielder. First pitch is outside, ball one. And, DJ, with that sidearm delivery, throwing right-handed, he has that slider that curves outwards on a right-handed batter. And, boy, that last pitch to Isaiah Garcia sure looked close. And when you consider that there's that late movement tailing outside, it's just a tough call to take. Here's the 1-0 to Austin Swift. Fastball hit foul out of play. 1-1 the count, 1 out, bases loaded here in the top of the ninth. Rogues trail 4-3.
And DJ's been working with Jeff Lyle for years back at Lane Community College. He's now obviously out at Campbellsville, out in Kentucky. But DJ is the kind of guy with a great head on his shoulders that can definitely minimize by getting a ground ball double play here. So look for him to do that, live low in the zone, and get that ground ball.
Here's the 1-1. That one's inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jake Boyd at third. Zachary Hall at second. Isaiah Garcia at first. The right-handed batter, Austin Swift, waits on the 2-1 from DJ Wilson. Wilson comes set. Takes a breath. Here's the pitch. That one a called strike.
Great slider, DJ. Great slider by DJ.
So the count is now 2-2. DJ Wilson just 1 pitch away from getting the second out of this inning.
And I'd like to see him throw that again because it looked like it absolutely froze the batter there. And Swift not necessarily ready for that slider.
Here's the 2-1. 1 out, bases loaded. And that one hits him. That one got away from DJ Wilson. That will be ruled a hit batter. No chance for Austin Swift to get away from that one. Another run comes home. The carousel spins. Bases still loaded. 5-3. Potters on top now.
There's no way to get out of the way on that one, and that's why when it's a fastball, typically it's going to be a hit-by pitch that sends the runner 90 feet. And unfortunately, it sent three other runners 90 feet there, as there is some action in the Medford Rogues bullpen. But the thing with DJ is with all that run and that sidearm action, you are liable to hit batters every once in a while.
First pitch to Elijah Garcia, the catcher who came in for Mason Allen back in the 8th inning. Takes a first pitch strike from DJ Wilson. 5-3 the score now. Bases still loaded, still 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Pitch from Wilson. That is hit softly through the right side of the field. Clay Valenzuela-Reese making a great play, spinning around, throwing, firing to first base in time to get Elijah Garcia. The run will come home, however. But what a great play by Clay Valenzuela-Reese to limit that to 1 and even get the out.
Absolutely. That's the glass half full outlook that I like about you, John, is that definitely a great play there by Valenzuela-Reese. He ranged extremely far to his left, his glove side, and made a twirling throw over to Tortuga at first base. And I'll tell you what, DJ should be happy that there was an out there. He would have loved for it to be 2, but it was hit in an area where there was nobody. And to get an out, count your blessings.
First pitch now to Cameron Castaneda, a called strike on the outside part of the plate. So 2 outs. Runners on second and third for the Potters. The score is now 6-3. And the next pitch is a off-speed one that's hit high and foul out of play. There's a ton of movement on that pitch.
Yeah, that was his slider, and he threw back-to-back sliders. And a little bit late on the second one after taking the first one was the batter there. And basically what DJ's trying to do there is slow the bat down so when he brings this fastball, which is my prediction on the next pitch, it's going to look a lot harder.
Here's the 0-2. Swung on in, missed. Strike 3. So the top of the 9th finally comes to the end. 3 runs come across, however. The Rogues have some work to do in the bottom of the 9th. They trail 6-3.
Big inning needed by the Rogues here, John, and I'll tell you what, the guys can do it. They're down there. They're all pumped up. I'm sure they're going to all be on the rail. This should be a fun one to watch. We're going to have to see who comes back out for the Lincoln Potters to try to shut down the lightning-fast Rogues offense that can really catch you by surprise.
3 runs is not much for this offense. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the bottom of the 9th inning. Welcome back, Rogue Nation, to Medford Rogues Baseball, presented by Michael Newman and the Newman Group, your local home loan experts. We are in the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Rogues looking for some magic, down 6-3 to the Lincoln Potters. Stepping into the batter's box, the switch hitting Braden Stutzman. Hitting from the left side of the box, Jacob Gomez, the righty, still on the mound for the Potters. Joining me for the call is Jamie Flynn. Braden Stutzman showed bunt, pulled back. It's a called strike, 0-1.
So I'm sure Braden's not actually looking to bunt there. That's his way of taking a pitch. Some guys like to stand in and get their timing right, but Braden elects to square around and fake a bunt there.
The 0-1 catches the inside part of the plate. Braden Stutzman in a hole, 0-2.
And so we were talking about it in the break, John, but if we can get one of these two runners on here, the 8 and 9 hitter for the Rogues, and get to that deadly top of the order with only one out or less, the Rogues got a solid chance here at coming back.
Next pitch is low. So 1-2 the count to Braden Stutzman here in the bottom of the 9th inning. No one on, no one out. Rogues trail by 3.
So good speed differential on that changeup. But unfortunately, Stutzman nowhere near swinging at that as it bounced about 10 feet before the plate.
Next pitch swung on, foul back. Great job by Braden Stutzman to just stay alive.
And so there we go again. The changeup, even though it's in the dirt, it slows the bat down a little bit, and Gomez comes back with a fastball. Fortunately for Stutzman, it was on the outer portion of the plate, and he got to foul that one off. We'll have to see what Gomez is thinking here with the next pitch.
Here's the 1-2 to Stutzman. Swung on, hit well to center field, but it's going to be right at the center fielder, Zach Hoffman, for the first out of the inning.
And here we see people shaking their heads down in the crowd, John. That's another ball that the Rogues have absolutely laced at one of the outfielders, primarily tonight, the center fielder for the Lincoln Potters. And he's been shading the Rogues a lot to right center this evening, righty or lefty batter for the Rogues. Going to need a big at-bat out of Scott right here. I'm sure he's taking first pitch, but after that, we're going to need Scotty to get on base, the Rogue shortstop.
1 out, no one on for the Rogues in the bottom of the 9th inning. They trail 6-3. Scotty Wright at the plate. First pitch to Wright, he does take. It's a fastball right down the middle.
And I think that would be my strategy if I were still hitting, if my eyes were still good, John, would be to take a pitch the way Scott just did, time it up, get ready for it, because here it comes again, I think.
It is, and it's again a strike taken by Scotty Wright. He doesn't like the call, but he's in a hole 0-2.
I think Scott's complaining that pitch was a little bit down, and it was a really good job by Gomez there to locate the ball down, and he's definitely in the driver's seat now.
Here's the 0-2 to Scotty Wright. Another fastball. That one's fouled back and out of play. We'll do this again. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 9th inning. Rogues trail by 3.
Steady diet of fastballs to Scott here, 3 in a row. I would say there's not going to be a chance he's going to throw 4 here. It's got to be that off speed, and Scott's got to do a good job of seeing the baseball up in the zone, seeing it break, and trying to put a good swing onto it.
The 0-2 is outside. Another fastball.
It was a fastball
by Jacob Gomez. So 1-2 the count to Scotty Wright. Waiting on deck, Clay Valenzuela-Reese.
Like we said, just got to get that one runner on. Scotty, tough at bat here thus far.
That ball hit sharply by the third baseman. Took a funny hop. Scotty Wright is going to come around first. He's heading into second with a double. What a odd play that was. A sharply hit ground ball off the third base side. Third baseman Cameron Castaneda just took a funny hop for him. I'm not sure
you know what?
happened.
It just kind of stayed down. I think he assumed that it was going to bounce up, and it didn't. It stayed down, and he tried to backhand it. Had no time to get around it and try to chest the ball. But then it kind of got caught up in the fencing down the left field line. I thought it was hard enough to kind of bounce off that right to the left fielder, but it kind of stayed in one spot. And not that it matters because it's only one run, being Scotty Wright being only the first of the 3 that Rogues need to get. But Scott gets into second, and so now no double play balls in effect. So that's almost as important as getting on base.
So Clay Valenzuela-Reese, who has an RBI single and a run scored in this game, steps up to the plate with 1 out. Scotty Wright at second looks at a first pitch strike as a slider. 0-1 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rogues trail 6-3. Gomez looks back at second. Now comes home. Outside. Evens the count 1-1.
And it's funny to see young pitchers, John, when they give up a hit with a pitch that he throws pretty hard, Gomez, and he gives up a hit with the fastball and he comes back with off speed. So you always wonder if he doesn't trust it coming back with those 2 sliders consecutively.
Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on, just got a piece of it to Clay Valenzuela-Reese. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back. That looked like a pitch he could hit.
I think that slider was hung just a little bit, and unfortunately Clay missed it. But just like so many of the Rogues' windshield wiper mentality, on to the next thing. And so Clay ready to go here with this in this 1-2 count. I'd be shocked to see 4 straight off speed, but I'm shocked often in this game of baseball.
1 out, bottom of the 9th. Scotty Wright at second. The pitch swung on and missed on an outside ball. So that is the second out of the inning for the Rogues. That'll bring up Davis DeLorfis. Scotty Wright still at second. The tying run, Jake Helwig, waits in the batter's box. But right now, Davis DeLorfis, the last man standing for the Rogues here at Harry and David Field.
So law of averages tells us that DeLorfis' batting average is close to 400, and he'll be 2 for 5 on the night if he can get a knock here.
First pitch, called strike on the outside part of the plate. And I mean outside. That looked more outside than that pitch from DJ Wilson. That was check swing.
No comment, John. John, no comment.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 out, runner on second for the Rogues in the bottom of the 9th inning. 6-3, they're down. Here's the pitch from Jacob Gomez. That one outside. That one will be called a ball. 1-1.
Maybe that one was a bit lower.
The fans getting a little rowdy here at Harry and David
I see
Field.
what you did there.
Yeah, it's a good one, right? 1-1 the count. 2 outs. Runner on second for the Rogues. Davis DeLorfis waits on the pitch. Here it is. Waved at and missed. Strike 2.
Really leaning on that slider now is Gomez. Looks like he's just used those 2 pitches primarily out of the pen, is the fastball and the slider, and he's thrown a heavy dose of those to the two on the top of the order for the Rogues in DeLorfis and Valenzuela-Reese.
So the Rogues down to their final strike here on Military Night. That one is a fastball, misses low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner on second, that's Scotty Wright. Had a double earlier in the inning.
You got the infielders in their normal positions. It looks like the outfield, again, shifted a little to the right here. I expect a slider here in this 2-2 count.
Here it is. Swung on, hit high, and foul. It's going to go out into the stands and out of play. So Davis DeLorfis staying alive, and he's got to be thinking just get on base, give Jake Helwig, who's on deck, a chance to tie this ballgame.
Get the tying run to the plate. It's that simple, John. That's what they're looking to do, and I think for Davis DeLorfis here, that's got to be a confidence-boosting pitch because that was that slider that we talked about, and he got a piece of it that time.
Count remains 2-2. 2 outs. The pitch to DeLorfis. Low. Ball 3. So now a full count to Davis DeLorfis, the third baseman for the Medford Rogues out of Utah. Scotty Wright on second. Waiting on deck, the big left-handed batter, Jake Helwig. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Jacob Gomez. Outside, ball 4, and the tying run comes up to the plate.
And that's what we talked about a minute ago. Get that tying run to the plate. This is big for the Rogues to bring Jake Helwig to the plate. He's been very hot the last couple of days for the Rogues, and they're going to give themselves an opportunity to come back and tie this one up. And danger for the Lincoln Potters if Alex Isola then follows. But pitch-to-pitch mentality here for the Rogues. I'm sure Jake Helwig is not going to be taking here. As the rule is if you're the tying run in the final inning, you're usually not in take mode because you have the opportunity to tie the game up. And now, as you notice with the flag in left center field, John, 0 win, and we've already seen Jake Helwig drive one to right field right at the warning track.
So here we go. Jake Helwig, the tying run at the plate. Rogues down 3 in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch to Jake Helwig. Fastball, strike. Hellwig taking all the way there.
Definitely taking right there. That ball's outside, and no reason to go fish for a pitcher's pitch on that first one. And so it'll be interesting to see if we see a changeup now from Gomez if he's got one in his back pocket.
Here's the 0-1 to Hellwig. Big swing and a miss.
That's what it was. It was the changeup, and Hellwig was a little bit out in front. I think he might have fouled it back into the catcher's mitt. I believe that's what I saw from Alex Chavez behind the plate. And the Rogues again now down to their last strike, John.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Jake Hellwig with Scotty Wright at second here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The pitch. Outside, 1-2 the count.
And it seemed like so many times before, since Gomez has entered this ball game, he's had the ability to have that pitch that he can put away a batter with. But unfortunately for him, the last couple batters, he's not been able to put them away completely.
Here's the 1-2 to Hellwig. Swung on, fouled back off the third base side. Hellwig doing a nice job of staying alive here in the bottom of the 9th.
Hellwig might have been trying to drive the ball out, John, with the first 2 strikes, maybe the first strike if he found one that he really liked, but now he's in full protect mode. He's in the kind of mode that, hey, I might try to drive one to left center, I might try to drive one to the left side of the field, anything that keeps my team alive.
1-2 to Jake Hellwig with Scotty Wright at second. Here's the pitch. That one way outside, gets away from the catcher, Elijah Garcia. Scotty Wright heads to third. Advancing to second is Davis DeLorfis. 2 runners in scoring position for the Rogues. However, that tying run still at the plate. Jake Hellwig in a 2-2 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning.
And we're back into that situation again where being a left-handed hitter in Hellwig, I'm sure he's not going to get anything that's going to allow him to make a big difference in this game. They're going to probably be pitching around him with first base now open, although you don't want the tying run on base. So it's kind of one of those predicaments that, as a pitcher, you battle with.
Here's the 2-2 with 2 outs to Jake Hellwig. Outside, ball 3. So the count runs full to the left-hander from Bethune-Cookman.
This is a big pitch right here for the Medford Rogues. No doubt about it, John. 3-2 here. It will be interesting to see if he gives him anything to hit here with the right-hander Isola, although hot, standing in the on-deck circle.
Here's the 3-2. Swung on, fouled back off the third base side. A long at-bat.
Not making it easy for him, is he?
And that's exactly what you want to see.
And here goes the Medford Rogues. They are battling here. You see the dugout with their rally caps on down there, John. They're doing all kinds of things. I think they're even doing the bow and arrow down there, which is a traditional 3-2 count sign of a rally.
That one inside, gets away from the catcher. Here comes one to score. Scotty Wright comes home. It is a walk to Jake Hellwig. The runners are on the corners. The tying runs are on base. And coming up to the plate, Alex Isola.
The Iceman, the University of Utah freshman. Isola already had a huge hit for the Rogues, his last at bat. And let's not get too ahead of ourselves here, John, but he's had other big at-bats this season for the Rogues in this situation. I'm sure this is the guy the coaching staff and the players in the dugout want at the plate for the Rogues.
So runners on the corners here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rogues down 2 with 2 outs. Alex Isola up to bat.
And any ball in the gap here, you have to assume with Hellwig and the way he moves around the bases, Jeff Lyle's going to be sending him. So that means any sort of double that Alex Isola hits here.
First pitch is high and inside, ball 1.
Alex is locked in. He's ready to go. The kid feeds off of this sort of situation, and it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm super excited for this battle here.
Jacob Gomez comes set. Here's the 1-0 to Alex Isola. Swung on, fouled off the first base side. 1-1 the count. I have to tell you, Jamie, I have to tell you.
Oh, don't say it.
I love baseball.
Oh, I hear you there. This is what it's all about, right? A 6-4 ball game in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. Runners on.
On the corners. Here we go. The 1-1 to Alex Isola. Swung on, fouled off the first base side into the berm. Isola behind in the count, 1-2.
And Isola getting 2 pitches there that he could definitely have done some damage with, missing them. I would assume there's not going to be another fastball thrown to Isola there. 2 good pitches, but pitches that Alex, I'm sure, would have loved to have done some damage with, as I said.
Here's the 1-2 to Ice. Inside. Running on the play is Jake Hellwig. The throw is going to be not in time. Jake Hellwig steals second base, and the tying runs are in scoring position for the Rogues. That was a close play down there at second.
Oh, man.
With a delayed steal by Jake Hellwig. A gutsy call. You think
it
was Jeff Lyle over there telling him to go?
You know what? I don't think it's Jeff Lyle. I think that was too close of a play for there to be any sort of instigation from the coaching staff to get that runner into second base. Especially Jake runs well, but not well enough to try to steal a bag. Although a great delay by him. But as we have the umpire getting an earful from the manager of the Lincoln Potters, I'm not going to say I thought he was out, but I'm not going to say I thought he was safe, John.
A great middle-of-the-road phrase there by Jamie Flynn. The runners are in scoring position. The tying runs at second and third for the Rogues. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2-run ball game. Alex Isola waits for the pitch. Here it is. Swung on, foul, back out of play, and we'll do this again. My word, I'm going to have gray hairs by the end of this game.
I think I might already, John. Great pitch, great foul off by Alex Isola there. Up in the zone, but definitely a strike. And wow, that doesn't get much better than this. Just guys being dudes out there.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2-1. That one outside. The count runs full to Alex Isola. Waiting on deck, Johnny De La Cruz, who is 2 for 4 in this ballgame.
Yeah, talk about clutch is Johnny De La Cruz. Alex Isola looking to get on base, and this is going to be big for the Rogues, this next pitch. No doubt about it.
Full count, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. That one is low. Ball 4. Alex Isola has earned himself a walk. The bases are loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning for Johnny De La Cruz.
And it looks like there's some action in the Lincoln Potters bullpen, John. Not sure if they'll make a move right here, but the catcher's going to go out, which I'm sure is going to mean that they're trying to bide some time for the guy down in the bullpen. I can't tell from here if it's a right-hander or a left-hander. I assume it's a righty with the righties coming up for the Rogues in their lineup.
Caleb Smith coming on to pinch run for Alex Isola.
Funny story about Caleb, actually, is he was not able to hit today. Got a mean blister on his hand.
Wow.
And he told the coaches, I'm ready to pinch run. I'm ready to go play the outfield for you later in the game if we need a defensive substitute. And that's what it looks like he's on for. But good for Caleb to come out, and that's just a test to the hard-nosed kids that play for the Medford Rogues this season.
2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, bases loaded in a 2-run ball game. The first pitch to Johnny De La Cruz is outside. Ball 1. You have Davis DeLorfus at third, Jake Hellwig at second, Caleb Smith pinch running for Alex Isola at first. All 3 runners reached on walks in this inning.
And John, you must be holding your breath because I know I am. This is great. The Rogues fans are in it. You can hear it. What a great atmosphere.
The 0-1 slider catches the inside part of the plate. 1-1.
Yep, and that's a good call. Again, Alex has had a solid zone tonight. Inside, but a strike for sure, and a good take from Johnny as well. It's not the pitch he wants to do any damage with right now.
It was a good pitch by Jacob Garcia. The 1-1. Swung on, hit to right field. Is that going to carry? No, it is not. It is caught by the right fielder, Zachary Hall. The Rogues threaten but cannot finish the comeback. They fall to the Lincoln Potters 6-4, your final score.
And that's tough for Johnny, and he's going to beat himself up over that because he thinks that he could have done better, but that was a rocket to right field, and unfortunately they had him shaded. I think, for me, the MVP tonight is going to have to be the coaching staff for the Lincoln Potters. Did a fantastic job shading their outfielders based on the spray charts of what the Medford Rogues hitters have, and they did a great job of positioning their players, and some stung baseballs hit right at outfielders. That pretty much sums up the game. A tough loss for the Rogues, but they'll bounce back. They don't lose too many games consecutively, John, and they're going to be hungry to go down and do some damage against Yuba City and Marysville.
We are back tomorrow. 6:55 pregame show, 7:05 first pitch, live from Calusa Casino Stadium in beautiful Marysville, California.
Beautiful and cold.
Hopefully.
Oh, it won't be.
For Jamie Flynn, I'm Jonathan Kerman on the call. Thank you so much for joining us, Rogue Nation. Again, your final score, the Medford Rogues fall to the Lincoln Potters 6-4 in a close one. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're back tomorrow, 6:55 p.m. pregame show, right here on MedfordRogues.com. For Jamie Flynn, I'm Jonathan Kerman. Until tomorrow night, sleep well, Rogue Nation.
Thanks for listening to Medford Rogues Baseball. Listen to the Rogues all season long, live on MedfordRogues.com.